Radio Man keeps on inserting himself. He says they're starting to click at the right time. Winning-wise, yes, 3 straight wins.
Yes.
Offensively, would you say yesterday was a day of clicking for the Eagles offense? I would disagree with Mr. Radio Man to start the show, Johnny.
As far as clicking on offense, yes, I would disagree with Mr. Radio Man. But
the Eagles shut out again for another half.
But winning at Buffalo?
Oh, that's first and foremost.
I would not disagree with Radio Man because going to Buffalo and winning is a monumental task.
Especially in the conditions that they played in. It was ugly. It was sloppy. Now, look, Buffalo also had to play in those ugly, sloppy conditions. And they clearly did not have the same offensive woes in the second half, but they had the offensive woes in the first half. Eagles get shut out in the second half. Bills were shut out the first 3 quarters. Eagles win the football game last night 13-12.
That was freaking excruciating. It was excruciating.
Because it came down to the very last play.
And you saw it coming a mile away.
Yeah.
It was the car crash that you see coming. It was like on an icy day when you see somebody driving too fast and then they can't stop but they're a good distance from you, but you know
it's coming.
This person's not going to be able to stop. That was what you saw yesterday. That was a mess.
Once the offense started getting nothing going in the third quarter, you're saying, well, at least thank God we have the defense that we have, because this Eagles defense has been tremendous pretty much all season long, one of the better defenses in the NFL. But then you see it in the fourth quarter. You see Josh Allen be Josh Allen, MVP caliber quarterback that he is, won the MVP last year. And it comes down to a crazy decision, and in my opinion, crazy decision to go for 2, because earlier in the game, if you missed it, if you were not watching yesterday, I don't know what you were doing with your life. The Eagles blocked an extra point attempt, thankfully.
Well, let's make Jalen
Carter blocked the extra point attempt.
Blocked it, which is awesome.
And then the Bills score a touchdown and decide to go for 2 instead of kicking the extra point and forcing overtime. The reason why I say it's a crazy decision is because I just told you, the Eagles offense did nothing in the entire second half. What makes you think all of a sudden in overtime that they would click on offense? But hey, it worked out for the Eagles. The Eagles won.
What in the world, honestly, did you see, and I know you usually turn it right off, did you watch the postgame at all? Like right when the game ended, you did not watch when they went to the studio. Whether it was Terry and Howie and God, I can't remember who's in that last seat.
Rob Gronkowski.
And they're all like, "What the hell is he doing?" He's got the Eagles defense on the ropes.
Yeah.
He's got the Eagles absolutely exhausted. Yeah. That defense is exhausted and burned
because the offense can't keep a drive going for more than 3 seconds.
An Eagles offense that has done nothing for 2 quarters. And he literally lets them off the hook by going for 2 and says, okay, here's a coin flip chance to win this game.
Play was there. Khalil Shakir wide open in the back of the end zone, but Josh Allen back foot throws it. And
Josh Allen didn't make a big play in a big time?
Right, exactly.
Wait a minute. Josh Allen didn't come through at a big time with a wide open receiver.
You're basically talking like you're Connor Thomas.
Wait.
Now.
Wide open receiver.
Yeah, he was open.
He was wide open.
So the Eagles get the win going to Buffalo. And again, first and foremost, going into Buffalo, 11-4 team versus or a 10-5 team versus an 11-4 team. The Bills are 11-4. And you get the win. That's great. It's very much like the Packers-Lions all over again, right? Where we say, hey, if I told you that the Eagles would go to Lambeau and get a win and then follow that up with a win over the Lions, everybody would say, damn,
right,
that was really good. And then you add the context of the offense. It's kind of the exact same thing. If I told you, hey, the Eagles are going to go to Buffalo in a monsoon for at least 3 quarters and come out with a win, we're going to say that's great.
Well, that is exactly where I'm going to stop you and say that is what I will say this morning.
That's it?
That's great.
Show's over.
No. I absolutely will have a lot to say about the offense.
Yeah, because the offense was horrible.
But it's great. You went to Buffalo and you won a game. It's great. Period. It is great. You won a game at Buffalo. You beat the Buffalo Bills. You held them to 12 points, something that has happened one time in 3 seasons. One time in 3 seasons, they've been held to 12 points or less. That is great with a capital G. All the other sub-stories to the win are absolutely valid. But it's great. It's absolutely great. Going to Lambeau and winning is great.
Right.
Beating Detroit is great. Going to Buffalo and winning is great. Beating the Rams is great. Beating Kansas City is great. I mean, these are great things that this team has done this year. And there's a lot of great, but there are also a lot of things that make you go, And most of the NFC teams all have that same issue.
So after the game, Nick Sirianni was speaking to the media, and you're going to hear a lot of Nick Sirianni's post-game press conference because it was kind of all over the place. Here he was talking about just getting the win and giving yourself credit for it.
You got to give yourself points when you win football games. There's always things to clean up when you come out of a football game. If you come out of a football game where you win on the road, again, in a hostile environment, against a really good football team that's had the sustained success that we have, like if you come out of this and you're just thinking about all the negative things that happen, that makes for a miserable existence. We'll get there. We'll get to what we need to clean up, and really good first half by the offense, not a great second half, and a lot of different reasons why. Winning's hard in this league, and I'm always going to enjoy a win. And then I'm going to be really hypercritical on myself first and foremost, and then the rest of the guys after that, and the coaches. Yeah, you feel great.
That's the right attitude to take. That's 100% the right attitude to take in the NFL. And Hall of Fame coaches will tell you that that's Tony Dungy would tell you that. Bill Parcells would tell you that that's the right attitude to take. It is to go to Buffalo and win. When you see Buffalo road game on the schedule, you say, in your head, you go, that's a brutal game. And those who play the win-loss game, the stupid win-loss game, pencil them in as losses. Pencil road games in at Lambeau as losses. They go, but in individual context, those are great. But there are things when you look back at it, I want to see what he fixes, though, because it's week 17, Nick. I've heard this song and dance.
Okay, so that's where I'm at.
No, I've heard the song. Yeah, but the thing
offense
is,
isn't getting
the thing
fixed.
is, though, but don't bury the lead. It's a great win. It is a great win.
And that's why I started the show.
And that's the key. It's a great win.
It is week 17. The offense will not all of a sudden get better. All right, it's not going to. And the Eagles will need the defense to be the 85 Bears, the 0-1 Ravens, or hell, we'll just call them the 25 Eagles, right? They're going to have to be this dominant, it seems like, any single playoff game. Sure, there might be a game where the Eagles offense puts together a couple of good drives. We've seen it, right? Limited times and against lesser opponents like the Raiders and the Commanders. But we've seen the Eagles offense show life at times this year. But if we're talking about a 4-quarter effort for an Eagles win, it's going to be on the backs of the defense every single week. They're not going to get the 1 seed, right? We all
No, they're out of the 1 seed.
That's done. So they're going to have to win 3 playoff games in order to get back to the Super Bowl, and it's going to have
Just
to
like
be
last
because
year.
of the defense.
They're going to have to win 3 playoff games. This year they may have to win 2 on the road, and that's going to be a much different task. There's a good chance they're going to have to win 2.
Now, my thing is, like, when I hear Sirianni say we got to give ourselves, props for winning, yeah, you do. It contradicts what the message was earlier this year, the whole No More Victory Monday thing and all that kind of stuff. Like,
well, Victory Monday's today. This is after a game. He's talking after a game. Right after a game in that locker room is what he's talking about. He's talking about being at a podium 20 minutes after a win. He's not talking about Victory Monday. Victory Monday's today. If he comes out with the same sunshine and lollipops BS today, then I absolutely would understand where you'd go, yeah, Nick, come on now. Because I even question it, too. I'm like, come on, Nick. Like, there's a lot I questioned about Nick's reaction yesterday, but it's more of what he did when he wasn't on a microphone.
Right, and there's a lot to react, so we will do that. Are you happy with the win? Yes, we're all happy with the win, but do you?
Hope so.
Is your number one takeaway they went to Buffalo and got the win? Or is your number one takeaway this offense is troublesome and it's not good enough to win the big picture thing, which is not necessarily a win in Buffalo? If we're talking big picture, we're talking 3 playoff games and hopefully a Super Bowl. You can chime in on that at 610-632-0975. The Eagles have won 2 games this season in ways nobody could have predicted with the W's and L's from before the season started, Johnny. You'll hear the highlight of another block kick next. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
John Marks and Ray.
It's 6:14 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday season, by the way. We've been off. You were off on your birthday, the 23rd, yes. So welcome back. I've been off since Christmas Eve. Connor worked 85 shifts on Friday.
Yeah. Connor has been everywhere. He's been everywhere. Every time I turned on the radio, I heard Connor. Now, I did not understand, though, the other day. I heard Connor going to the gym. So I got up early, the girls were sleeping, and I was awake, so I said, okay, I'm getting to the gym early. Then I leave the gym, and I heard Ray Dunn. And I was completely confused as to what went on the other day, and I still don't understand what happened. Was it recorded?
No, I was here until 8. And then
Did you get sick?
No, I had unfiltered later, so we swapped. A little scheduling thing.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that we called an audible.
Oh, okay. Right. I got confused because I went to the gym. Connor was on.
So you were the opener.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I got out
inning in 2/3.
I got out of the gym
and then through the 8th and 9th and 10th and 11th.
Ray Dunn's on, and I'm
That's
going.
what I do in my Sunday league. So
I said, was Connor on tape? I didn't even understand what was
the
going
holidays.
on.
Do whatever you can.
There you go.
All right. So the Eagles beat the Bills yesterday, 13-12. They're up 13-0 at halftime. They're up 13-0 to start the fourth quarter, and they win 13-12.
They held them scoreless for 52 minutes.
Unbelievable, right?
52 minutes.
It's unbelievable how good this Eagles defense is. The offense, obviously, a major question mark, but you got the win, and a lot of it was because of this blocked point after attempt.
13th rushing touchdown of the year for Josh Allen, most of any quarterback. That extra point is blocked. It is blocked. Badgley, who had a rough debut last week for the injured Matt Prater, and that one doesn't get home, so it stays a full 7 points. Was it Jalen Carter who got it? It's tough to see. Let's find out. Oh, my, look how high he is.
Oh, my God, look at that. And a little low coming off the foot, and that's all it takes, 2 inches.
And that's the ball game because Sean McDermott then decides after scoring the next touchdown to go for 2 instead of kicking the extra point in order to tie it and force overtime. So Jalen Carter, once again, second block kick this year for him because he had the field goal block against the Rams earlier this season. You want to talk about saving games. Jalen Carter's done that numerous times now. We go back to the playoff game last year, getting in the face of Matthew Stafford and sacking him. Jalen Carter, and by the way, I tweeted this out yesterday. The Eagles' defensive front was dominant for 3 straight weeks without him, without Jalen Carter. So that's a credit to Jordan Davis and Mauro Jomo and Brandon Graham and Jalix Hunt, who was a beast again yesterday, and Nolan Smith and Nakobe Dean when he was, coming off the edge as a blitzer. Obviously, he was out yesterday with the hamstring injury. It's a credit to every member of that Eagles defense. Jalen Phillips, credit to him. But having Jalen Carter back now, it makes that defensive front even scarier. Josh Allen was uncomfortable all night.
Yeah, well, and the big thing is, too, as you saw yesterday, is Jalen Carter, he was a menace all over the place. On the big sack of Josh Allen, Jalen Carter's speed chased him into that.
Yeah.
And the speed with which that man moves, I can't get over. I mean, the entire team is just – right now on defense is just playing some amazing football.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. And, again, if you are to say they have a chance to get to the Super Bowl, it's because you have one of the better defenses in the NFL. But then the question's going to continue to come back to the offense. So what we're going to do coming up next, Nick Sirianni was obviously asked about the offense a lot during his post-game press conference yesterday. Believe it or not, Johnny, he has thoughts on the Eagles' offense.
I figured he does. I figured he's got some thoughts.
I'm telling you now, when you hear it, you'll go like, all right. But my question is, when are we going to implement these thoughts? Because I feel like there's a lot of thoughts, but we're not doing it. Is this we're going to wait till the playoffs to start implementing things?
That's what I can't understand is the whole there's a nonchalance to Nick Sirianni that just, to me, continues to baffle me. But I would like to name 3 things, though, quickly for Nick Sirianni that need to be mentioned because he is going to take a few bullets today. Second all-time now in wins in Eagles history, behind only Andy Reid.
Love that.
The best road team in the NFL since he took over in 2021. And the third most wins by any coach in their first 5 NFL seasons. So, any critique of Nick Sirianni is also balanced with he has an amazing winning percentage.
Sirianni love.
Well, guess what, Bill? I am echoing it because those things need to be talked about
because
too.
he just wins. It's weird.
He does. And
how many times have I said this is the weirdest whatever record, whatever seed team in the NFL I've ever seen?
We've said it, and you know what? We've said it multiple years.
Yeah.
But you know what? At some point, maybe we stop saying it and realize
It's still weird, man.
No, it's weird, but realize that the guy wins.
MBD in our YouTube chat. I want to know why anybody on offense gets paid this week.
Oh, boy.
I don't disagree with you, man.
Well, the offense in the first half, to me, I had no problem
All right,
with.
so give him half the paycheck.
I had no problem with the offense in the first half.
You're right.
I just wondered what happened in the second half.
Statistically, it won't look like it. Jalen Hurts was great in the first half yesterday.
He had a fantastic.
Statistically, it won't tell you
he was
because the yards and all that kind of stuff.
He was
Fantasy
awesome.
football.
He was awesome.
Tremendous. But then the second half happened. All right, Football Monday on the Fanatic, presented to us by the local Bryant Home Comfort Team. Visit nopaybryant.com to keep your HVAC in the starting lineup. You'll hear from Nick Sirianni next. His thoughts that don't seem to be implemented. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, the Fanatic. So, like, I'm in a weird place today when it comes to doing this show because I am celebrating. Like, that's a good win yesterday. All right? And I know I've been negative Nancy with the Eagles recently. That's a good win. Going to Buffalo, those conditions, the defense, I love this Eagles defense.
What did you say on were you were in Friday, right?
No.
Or you were not?
My last day was Christmas Eve.
Okay, Christmas Eve, what did you say for the game? Did you make a prediction?
No, that was way too
Oh,
early.
okay.
No, I did not.
Connor, what did you say for the game?
I predicted the Bills to win. I thought they needed that game more.
All right, so
And they did. And they did. I mean, there's nothing wrong
They were
with
still
predicting.
fighting for a division.
Yeah, the game was much more important to the Bills, which is another reason why it is a great win for the Eagles. They were the team that had truly almost nothing to play for. And the Bills had everything to play for.
I think Chris Jeezy on our YouTube chat has sort of I think he hits the nail on the head with how I'm feeling right now.
Were you contemplating that?
A win is a win.
Okay.
But no one really thinks this is going to lead to another Super Bowl, do they? Going a half without scoring won't cut it in the playoffs. And it's
so
not,
he thinks nobody believes this team can go to a Super Bowl?
I don't think that they can go to a Super Bowl being shut out for a half. Now, I'll say this. It's not like this is the first time, right? Like, the Eagles have been shut. How many times have they? 5 times now or 4 times? Because you had the number a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it was not good.
It may be 4 times now, which is only one less of the Tennessee Titans, unless the Titans.
It's not good.
Or maybe the Titans, or maybe they're tied with the Titans at this point. I can't see a team that can go completely dead for a half, which they have now 4 times. 4 times this year, the Eagles have been shut out in a half. 4 times.
Okay.
That is not a good recipe to have going into playoffs, especially when you're going to have to win 3 games, and to your point, maybe 2 of them on the road.
Did you watch last night?
Yes.
Did you watch those 2 teams play last night?
Yes, I did.
Did you watch those defenses?
They weren't great.
They were poor.
Okay.
They're poor defenses.
The Eagles played that Bears team a couple of weeks ago and could do nothing.
They did. Those defenses are poor. Those defenses are porous. I mean, Tampa Bay or Carolina's going to the playoffs. I mean, the NFC is not full of juggernauts at all. I hear all the time. I know Connor won't bring if it's Seattle. Connor won't be scared of Seattle because he doesn't believe in Sam Darnold. And I think most of the fan base will be shoulder to shoulder with Connor Thomas if it's the Seattle Seahawks because of that. And I got to tell you, Connor, I saw a lot of that Seattle game yesterday at Carolina, and I saw a lot of what you suspect you will see of Sam Darnold in the playoffs.
And Carolina isn't that good, so I'm not worried about Darnold.
See, I think Carolina's defense is. I think
their
Carolina
defense is good.
Really
Seattle's defense is good too.
I think those 2 teams yesterday, but I don't think either one of those teams comes to Philadelphia and beats the Eagles.
Will the Eagles have more than 17 yards in the second half?
I don't think either one of those teams comes to Philadelphia and beats the Eagles. Could I see the Rams coming here and beating the Eagles? Yeah. Could I? Could I contemplate that? Yes.
I want to avoid the Rams like the plague.
I want to avoid. I think the Bears are a scary bunch for the Eagles. I think that but the way it matches up, there's a chance that the Bears could get taken out by a Green Bay. Now Green Bay's in that 7th seed. They're going to get healthy.
Yeah.
And they're going to they play the Bears to a coin flip every time.
You're much more confident than I am.
Don't paint it as confident.
Well, okay.
I'm of the belief this team can absolutely go to the Super Bowl.
I'm still
in the NFC.
I'm still saying that I don't think that they can.
Okay, 0 chance.
Yeah,
you say 0?
I don't know how they look. Maybe at some point, God will come down and tell me, Andrew, they keep winning football games, and I'm still going to look in the face of the Lord, John, and say, how?
Okay.
They had 17 yards in the second half.
He's going to say to you, though, 0 chance that this team goes to the Super Bowl out of the NFC.
This team has been shut out 4 times in halves. It was a great win yesterday, but I'm not talking about a win against Buffalo anymore. We're 1 week away. Well, they might not play their starters on Sunday. That may have been the last starters game.
Yeah,
right?
it might be. It might be.
We may not see the start. We don't know yet. Nick Sirianni will make that decision at some point this week.
With the 2 seeds still on the line, I know it's going to be discussed all week long, and
absolutely.
You'll be talking about it.
Yeah.
I hope the Eagles don't say, yeah, we don't care about the 2 seed. I hope that they do not do the.
See, I lean more. I'd rather have rest.
Wow.
At this point, I would rather the Eagles rest. That's where I'm at. They don't deserve it. They don't because they've not been good enough to just say we're fine.
Okay,
they don't deserve it, but they need something.
Then this is in the course of the week. You're going to have to explain to me the dichotomy of you thinking they're not good enough on offense, but you don't want to see them work.
Week 18's not going to get better. Like it's not. It's week. It's December 29th. We're about to sing the song at New Year's.
I hate Auld Lang Syne. I hate
We're
that
about to sing that. The ball in Times Square is about to drop, and we're talking about whether or not the offense can get better in Week 18.
You know what they're talking about? In San Francisco and Chicago this morning? How bad their defenses are. That's what they talked about on ESPN.
San Francisco saying we have a chance to get in the 1 seed.
And they're talking about how
that's
bad.
What they're talking about.
And they're talking about how bad their defense is. And that's what they're talking about. If you watched the broadcast last night and ESPN overnight, as you heard right here on 97.5 The Fanatic, they talked about those aren't championship defenses.
Right, but is this a championship offense? Because the answer is no.
No. Well, that's what I'm saying is this offense isn't championship. But the defenses are championship of two teams that are potentially in their way. Their defenses aren't. So every team in the NFC is flawed and has things that are not going to be good enough. And so to count out the world champions, to count out a team with this kind of defense is absurd. It's flat out absurd to not give them any chance. It's crazy talk. It's nuts. It's certifiably nuts.
There is one thing that we can still hold our hope toward, and that's whether or not Nick Sirianni will finally add his thoughts into the Eagles' offense. Here was Nick Sirianni. this clip, like, he made me laugh.
Did he?
Kind of.
Yeah.
I listened last night, and then I listened again coming in this morning. I was driving, and I'm like, let me listen to Sirianni. I just want to make sure he said all the things that he said. Here was Nick Sirianni talking about the struggles in the second half.
I think it's multiple things. Obviously, this has happened to us before, this season. We have to do a better job of helping them be in positions to succeed. I got to help. I put it on myself. I got to help, with some things with some things that I know we want to get called. Kevin did a good job in that first half, but I got to help in that second half a little bit, getting some things that we want to get called there, in execution. It's everything, right? And so obviously I'm not going to get too much into it. I have some thoughts, and we'll go back and look at it, but a lot of things that we can do differently and better there in the second half.
All right, so
I've got to help. What does that mean?
And he has thoughts. So usually we play Sirianni's press conferences every week, right? Usually Sirianni does the whole, I got to watch the tape first. And he threw that in there a couple of times. But that's usually his go-to answer. He's telling us that he has thoughts. Like, I got thoughts. I know what went wrong. And then at one point, he was asked about, would you get in the ear of Patullo? He said, I don't want to do that because if I disagree with the call, then we don't have much time left on the field to get the new call in. Well, the fact that you're admitting that you are disagreeing with some of your offensive coordinator's play calls, that's a little concerning to me.
I've got to help
on December
there?
29th.
What is I've got to help? I don't even know to the length of I've got to help there means. At some point, Jesus, take the wheel. Because that was such an atrocious job in the second half by Kevin Patullo. Hey, Nick, you're the boss. Don't let the plane crash. You know how to fly a plane. Don't let it crash. What was he doing? What was he doing? I don't want to overrule my boy? Is that what he was doing? I don't want to overrule my boy. I don't want to throw him off. Do you think other coaches that have guys calling plays for them don't overrule them? Give me a break.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, come on, Nick. You got to have a better answer than that. You got to have a better explanation than that. Thoughts. Well, the thoughts aren't doing any good for us. He's helping out during the week, obviously.
They had 17 yards of offense.
Oh, it was so bad.
16 after the kneel down. They had 16 yards of offense in the second half. He's got thoughts.
I had one of my buddies texting me, Joe, texting me all second half. They got to run the ball more. They got to run the ball more. Run, run, run. I'm like, the run isn't working. They're not blocking. They can't block for the running game. And in the first half, when they threw the ball, when they got on the third drive, when they got the passing game going, the running game opened up. When they got the passing game going and they softened them up, then the running game got going. That's what they needed to do. And all of a sudden, it was like, boop, no, 51 yards for Saquon in the first half. 17 in the second half?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Time of possession by drives for the Eagles in the second half. 2 minutes and 27 seconds. 25 seconds.
25. That was a good one.
2 minutes and 12 seconds.
Oh, that was good.
They all led to punts. A minute and 46 seconds.
Woo.
That led to a punt. A minute and 50 seconds, which led to a punt.
Man, that's good.
This is why I'm in a weird place today, because that is a great win going to Buffalo in those conditions, period.
It is.
And then I start to think, yeah, but they're not going to win in the playoffs with 20 yards in the second half of a football game and being shut out for the fourth time and a half this year.
Well, they won't be playing the Buffalo defense, though. Think about that, too. And that Buffalo defense is very, very good.
All right.
So, I mean, there's a difference, too. You got to take all things
You mentioned the
into
Bears
consideration.
defense.
Got to take it into
They
Bears
scored
defense.
15 points
They
against
scored.
that defense.
Yep.
All right, we want to hear from you. 610-632-0975. Are you happy with the win, first and foremost, or do you have a lot of concerns and questions because of the Eagles' offense? I feel like we've done the same show 10 times this year. You'll hear from Jalen Hurts on the crazy differences in halves for the Eagles. He was also asked whether or not he was confident with the Eagles' offense. Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic. 641 here on Kincade Salciunas 97.5, The Fanatic. Tommy Reardon chimes in on social media. I don't want to come off ungrateful.
Oh, boy.
But the incompetence of this offensive staff has made me miserable this year.
All right.
This may be the best defense in Birds history, but we can't tell because they can't play complementary football. We'll beat ourselves before someone else does. So, look, I can see
So he's making a definitive statement there? What? Read it to me again. We will beat ourselves?
We will beat ourselves before someone else does.
The definitive statements about this team are driving me nuts, Tommy. So those definitive statements that everybody's making about the world champions and what you know of these guys, that's driving me nuts.
See, where I disagree with him is when he says this may be the best defense in Birds history, but we can't tell because they can't play complementary football. No, I can tell. Again, the Eagles have been shut out in a half 4 times this year, and they still win those football games. I saw a stat yesterday, John, from Solak, Benjamin Solak.
Okay.
Per ESPN research,
All right.
the 2025 Eagles are the first team since the 1987 Patriots to win multiple games in a season in which they didn't complete a second-half pass.
Okay, that's wild.
Hurts is the first quarterback in the play-by-play era, where they chart plays since 1978, to go 0-7 or worse in multiple games in a season. That about pass attempts to completions.
Okay, that's
Like-
freaking crazy.
So I can see that this Eagles defense may be arguably the best defense in Eagles franchise history because of the ineptitude of the offense and the fact that they're 11-5.
There's nothing that's unfair about that statement.
We have come in here.
They're one, by the way, they're just 1 point off going into the last week of the year. They're 1 point off per game, last year's points per game. And considering the schedule that they had to play this year, I think that is every bit as good as last year.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Yeah.
It's crazy town. And they are trending up in a huge way. They've been the best defense in football since your man crush,
Yeah, Jalen Phillips.
since Jalen Phillips arrived. And
I
last
almost cried last
night,
night.
I did not text you
I almost cried, dude.
when he was limping off the field.
Oh, God.
I thought it was sort of being like you watching Heated Rivalry. I was wondering if you were a little, tearing up a little bit. But you were a little upset.
Yeah, I was
you were a little upset.
man.
But it was so good to see him back out there.
Yeah.
And every time someone went down yesterday on that, I was like, oh, come on. Just get me through it.
Well, here's the other thing. For the love of God, could they have put away the game so that they didn't have to have the starters out in the fourth quarter in those conditions? Like 21 points, obviously 13 points was enough yesterday. If they had a 3-score lead going into the fourth quarter in those conditions, it would have been nice.
Dude, Nerd Boy was sitting there in the fourth quarter going, if you had one extra first down in the third quarter, one first down. And I'm going to say, give me a minute and a half. The last drive never happens.
Yeah.
It never happens. One first down. Like one. Innocuous drive. So your frustration with the offense is clearly justified. It's absolutely justified. But, man, I mean, come on.
All right, let's take the final drive out. They ran 9 plays in the fourth quarter. This includes punts.
Right.
And they ran 14 plays in the third quarter. So they ran a total of 23 plays in the second half of that game yesterday.
How many first downs? I think they had 2.
I think 2.
If they had one first down in the third quarter, one extra first down in the third quarter, and just say if I took a minute and a half off the clock, let's say it was a minute and a half or 2 minutes. Let's get really generous that Kevin Patullo got his head out of his keister.
Oh, no, by the way, 1 first down.
Oh, one first down.
1 first down. Just for the record, guys.
So let's say Kevin Patullo does, can see some daylight out of his keister. Look, they win that game, and there's no time at the end of the game for any of that. Or Buffalo's used all their timeouts at minimum. It's a completely different game. Crazy town.
All right, here's Jalen Hurts talking about the disparity of the halves the Eagles have dealt with this year.
We got into a good rhythm and good groove. We're able to move the ball down the field in the first half, and in the second half, there are a lot of things that I have to watch the tape on to be able to pinpoint. Obviously, maintaining aggression is one thing, and maintaining rhythmic ball play, then just going out there and executing ultimately. So,
you always look yourselves in the mirror with that.
So a lot of people were saying yesterday, and we all saw it, that the Eagles took their foot off the gas pedal. I don't know how much of it was foot off gas pedal because we think we have this, or foot off gas pedal because of the conditions, right? Like, I do believe the weather played a factor, clearly. The Eagles, the Bills only scored 12 points. So the weather clearly played a factor.
I think the weather was worse in the first half, though.
Yeah, and then the fourth quarter, the rain went away. The third quarter, there was still steady rainfall.
Okay, so that doesn't make sense to me then. So the weather was worse in the first half. And the offense was
actually better.
I loved the first half off. I sat there in the first half in my notes for the show. I told you. I said I was really happy.
Statistically, it wouldn't paint the picture, but if you watched that game yesterday, I thought Hurts was spectacular.
He did a great job
in the first half, dealing with the conditions, making some of the throws that he made. I thought he was great in the first half.
Tom Brady was gushing about Jalen Hurts in the first half. He was all over Jalen Hurts. Second half, not so much, but I don't blame Jalen. I got to tell you this. Jalen Hurts is so far down the laundry list of my complaints about anything I saw yesterday. Like, so far down the list.
Yeah.
I'm not putting it on Jalen.
No, I'm not either.
The offensive line was horrible. Absolutely horrible.
So where does Jalen Hurts think about this offense? He was asked about his confidence level.
Yeah. Are you pretty confident where the offense is heading?
Yeah, very confident.
And what makes it so like that?
The guys that we have and everything that we know we're capable of and the things that we can control.
What are they capable of?
What is he what's it? You got to elaborate, Jalen. You got to elaborate. What are you confident of? Tell me. Get to what you got to speak in more general. You can't speak in generalities like that because there's nothing to be really confident of.
Well, and that's why I have the feelings that I feel today.
The confidence when he uses terms like, well, if someone's using terms like confidence, I am with you. If someone's telling me in absolutes, this team can't do it, I am not with you. I am at that point saying nonsense, that this team can't win. It's ridiculous. This team can absolutely win.
How are they going to win? 10-0 every week?
No, they don't have to win 10-0 every week. They don't. They're averaging 24 points a game. They've averaged 24 points a game. Yesterday was a flat out anomaly, like it was for the what you did yesterday to the Bills was for them. They're saying we haven't seen that.
Right.
12 points. Superboy. Josh Allen. I mean, the networks are crying. Josh Allen's not going to get a home game. I mean, they were trying to write the Josh Allen story all day yesterday. Yeah. They were sad.
I have no faith in the Eagles' offense. None. Like it's dead.
Well, there's a lot of reason. There's a lot of reason for you to feel that way. Like, a lot of reason,
and it's killing my mood today.
Well, that's
absolutely killing my mood.
The number one thing should make your mood happy. Going to Buffalo and winning a game should go. That's a game you're not supposed to win.
Made me happy for 5 minutes, and then we continued the show.
It didn't though. You were bluffing me. Not feeling it.
Coming up next, it's a shame that this is what I believe is the 6th time this year where the offensive issues have been so bad that it's overshadowed the dominance of the defense. I'll go through those games coming up next, but also let's show love to the defense because they deserve it. They absolutely freaking deserve getting a lot of love for the performance they did yesterday. That and your text messages and calls, Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
The Birds outlast the Bills. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles survived a fourth quarter surge by Josh Allen in Buffalo yesterday to take down the Bills 13-12. Offense was shut out in the second half for the Eagles, but the defense held just enough to still find a victory, including stopping Josh Allen in the Bills' last-second two-point conversion attempt. Nick Sirianni took responsibility for the offensive struggles in the second half after the game.
I put it on myself. I got to help with some things that I know we want to get called. You know, Kevin did a good job in that first half, but I got to help in that second half a little bit, getting some things that we want to get called there. You know, in execution, it's everything.
Nonetheless, the Birds are now 11-5, and with Chicago losing to the 49ers late last night, Eagles are still alive for the 2 seed. If the Birds win Sunday, the Bears lose to Detroit, Philly will be the 2 seed in the NFC playoff picture. Sixers fell to the Thunder 129-104 yesterday in Oklahoma City. They're off until tomorrow night. Flyers lost to the Kraken 4-1 out in Seattle late last night. They're also off until tomorrow as they continue their West Coast swing. We'll talk to Andrew DeCecco coming up at 7:55. First day after to check in on what we saw positively and negatively up in Buffalo in the Birds' win over the Bills. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
.656 here on Kincade Salciunas 97.5 The Fanatic on this football Monday. Victory Monday for the Eagles defense. And the first half Eagles offense.
Stop it.
What?
It's a victory Monday. Yes, it is a victory Monday for the Eagles winning at Buffalo.
Connor, if I say victory Monday for the Eagles defense, fair or unfair?
Fair.
Thank you.
Well, Eagles, it is a victory Monday for the Eagles. They won the game.
Defense won
How many
the
points
game.
did the offense put up?
13. Well,
10.
Jake Elliott
7.
put up 6 of those.
Yeah, he put up 6.
Okay, well, how did they get in position that you could have the worst kicker in the NFL be able to make 2
Josh Allen throwing
Josh
the ball
Allen.
backwards for some reason.
By the way,
that is a turnover, by the way. They couldn't turn it.
How was that a debate?
Well, here's why. If it had been ruled a forward pass and the Eagles challenged, they wouldn't have won. The fact that it was ruled a fumble on the field, the Eagles, it couldn't be overturned.
Maybe I'm too in the mindset of does it look like a throw?
I think he was tucking it.
Yeah. And
Well, but the fact that he was
Burkhardt
tucking
and Brady were like.
Well, the fact that he was tucking it would have meant that it wouldn't have been.
No, but I thought it was a pump fake, and then he's trying to. To me, that was a fumble. Like, I didn't even have a second thought when they're showing the slow motion replays. I'm hearing Burkhardt and Brady like astonished that it was a fumble, even in real time. You know, Burkhardt's like, that's not a fumble, is it? That's not a fumble.
Well, I don't think it was.
How are we not? How am I watching something completely different than you?
If that had been
I
ruled,
love Burkhardt.
If that had been ruled a non-fumble on the field, if that had been ruled an incomplete pass, and the Eagles challenged, do you think they win that challenge?
I
don't
think
believe
so.
they do.
I don't know, because Devontae Smith looked like what I thought was a pretty clear catch, or at least indisputable evidence, and they overruled that one. So God only knows what it would have been ruled if we go to review.
I think that ball moved a lot.
I think his arm was under it the whole time.
I think that ball moved a lot of the
And you
ground.
see that we don't have enough evidence.
If that was on, no, I saw a lot of evidence. If that ball, like if that happened for the opposition, I would have said that ball moved a lot on the field. That would have bothered me big time if that had counted as a catch.
I didn't think the Allen thing was like debatable. Like, I thought that was a clear fumble. I didn't have a second, and it's not because it benefited the Eagles. Like, I didn't have a second hesitation.
How about the pass interference on Quinyon?
Oh yeah, that was.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
That was ridiculous. And then they miss A.J. Brown's hand being.
Seriously,
being held. It was like me and Cooper crossing the street, right? Like A.J. Brown's hand is being held.
Oh man.
It was a weird day for the officials yesterday. That had nothing to do with it being a 13-12 victory, but it was a weird day for the officials yesterday. All right, let's show some love to the defense. As you're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, WPN, HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. As I see that I'm being annoying with my upset nature with the Eagles offense.
Well, the Eagles offense scored the 13 points, and the Bills offense scored 12. So the Eagles won the game at Buffalo.
Yes.
I mean, yes, you can be annoyed with the Eagles offense not being better, but the Eagles offense scored 13.
The Eagles offense that has not been good for 17 weeks now. We're about to go to week 18 of the regular season. I don't think it's all of a sudden going to click, but the defense has been so freaking dominant all season long, and it's a shame that they continuously get overshadowed, right? I looked at it this morning. Broncos game, dominant. They unfortunately lost that game. But the Eagles offense.
Well, I don't think they played well in the fourth quarter of that game at all.
Well, yeah,
in that game.
Yeah, but it's the same story as every week. They're probably dead by then because the Eagles offense is doing nothing.
I think that fourth quarter was not there. I think even Vic Fangio will tell you that fourth quarter was not their finest
I mean,
moment.
they gave up 18 points. It's bad. But
they did not play well in that fourth
quarter. But the
quarter.
Eagles offense was wretched. Same with the Packers game. Same with the Lions game. I even say the Bears game. You and I are on the same page with that one. I didn't understand the hatred the Eagles defense got for that Bears game. I understand you don't want to give up two 100-yard rushers.
Yeah, it was, again, the Eagles were down, and the Eagles had the ball in the red zone in the fourth quarter, 12 minutes to go, down by 1.
Yeah.
The Bears game is is a narrative that people have written that is like this fake narrative now that, like, man, the Eagles just got dominated that day by the Bears. The Eagles had the ball in the red zone, down by 1, 12 minutes to go, and Jalen Hurts fumbled. Bottom line.
And then the Chargers game, the Eagles defense was dominant.
Come on.
You know, it's just amazing how it's been pretty much all season long. This Eagles defense has been so good, and unfortunately it's been overshadowed. But they got a lot of great contributions yesterday. Marcus Epps, man, whatever it is that he was available and the Eagles were able to scoop him up, they put him on the practice squad for a little bit of veteran safety that was on the Super Bowl team years ago for the Philadelphia Eagles that ended up getting a decent contract with the Raiders. And look, I think a lot of people get lost with the Oakland, now Las Vegas Raiders.
Or they leave the building.
Like Max Crosby. But you see Marcus Epps, thank God, because Sidney Brown stinks. right? So if
Sidney Brown must be gone.
he's got,
he
don't,
must be gone. Even on routine plays, he's bad.
yeah, he stinks.
I mean, he's bad.
He is a bad football player. And the injury to Drew Makuba, they are lucky that Marcus Epps was around. Lucky, because he's been good.
He's been very good.
That tackle that he had on James Cook, the one-on-one tackle on the 2-yard line,
was outstanding.
That was incredible. Sidney Brown would have whiffed.
The open field tackling yesterday was outstanding.
Oh, so good.
Outstanding. Fantastic. It reminded me of the Baltimore game last year.
Yeah.
The job that they did yesterday on Cook was very much reminiscent of that Baltimore game last year. Really good stuff.
By the way, we'll get to our text line here in a second. I'll blame the conditions. But the amount of times Kevin Burkhardt or Tom Brady called Reed Blankenship Cooper DeJean.
Well, white guys in the rain. Look, we all look alike in the rain.
The amount of times they called him Cooper DeJean.
We all look alike in the rain.
I'm like, Reed Blankenship is the afterthought nationally for people. It's Cooper DeJean.
It is. But
They're one number apart, too.
They are. And white guys in the rain. I mean, it's like, how many times have you said to you, like, you yelled at your buddy on the street and you're like, wait a minute, that's not my buddy?
No, I don't think that's ever really
in the
happened
rain,
to me.
it
What do we got on
happens.
the text line, Connor? At 610-632-0975.
Chris from Northeast Philly checks in. He says, this is the reason why I personally can't go any higher than 5% for the Eagles' chances to do anything of substance in the playoffs. We're in Week 17, and Bozos, Patullo, and Sirianni still haven't learned not to be conservative when leading in the second half.
Can I ask him to do me a favor? Can I ask that texter, Connor, if he goes 5% for the Eagles, I want him to break down the other 95% for the NFC. I want him to break down who's going to the Super Bowl out of the NFC. You give me the other, and if you tell me the Eagles are 5%, I'm going to tell you I will take you to a psychiatrist's couch, and I'll pay for the session because you're absolutely certifiably nuts.
Yeah, but
There's a padded room for you if you say 5%, because you got to give me the other 95%. You got to say to them, you got to tell me, well, it's Rams 40%, Seattle 20%, Bears 20%, and Eagles 5%. You're absolutely nuts, is what I'm going to tell you. 49ers.
You keep on bringing up last night and how bad the Bears' defense was. Bears' defense, the Eagles only scored 15 points again.
I understand. And in the microcosm of that game, yes, they did. The Bears' defense is not the Eagles' defense. And the Eagles' defense and the Bears' defense are not talked about in the same sentence.
Right, but
They're not. The
Eagles' offense is that bad.
One game, and the Bears' defense is not the Eagles' defense. And this 49er defense is not at all. At all. Bring the 49ers to South Philly any time.
All right, let me ask
Anytime.
you a question. And this is a very open-ended question. For the Eagles to get back to the Super Bowl, they're going to have to win 3 games. How many points will they have to average in those 3 games, in your opinion, in order to get back to a Super Bowl?
You're going to have to tell me, the only thing I'm not trying to cop out on.
Right, I got it.
It's going to have to tell me is who are the opponents, because that's going to matter.
All right, let's say they play the Rams in the first round of the playoffs. Can they win by scoring 20 points?
No, absolutely not. But they didn't. They didn't have to worry about that because they scored more than that when they played the Rams.
33?
They scored, 33 that day?
I think it was
Yeah, they're fine. They'll be able to score in the Rams. They can score in the Rams' defense. Rams' defense is bad. Rams' defense is bad. The Rams beat writers are telling you. The Rams' defense is not championship caliber.
I don't need a beat writer to tell me the Eagles' offense is putrid.
Okay, 49ers defense is not championship caliber. You see, those teams and those teams' coverage is telling you their defense is not good. So what we're focusing on the warts of this team and ignoring the fact that those teams have big warts too. And the Eagles, they can score 30 on the Rams. I've already seen it. They can do that. And in perfect conditions, they can do that. But you absolutely will need the most points against the Rams. No question. So if you told me 49ers, could they score 24 and beat the 49ers? Yes. They're going to I think they're going to need 24 to beat any team. By the way, that's what they're averaging this year.
Okay.
They're going to need 24 with this defense. This defense is averaging 18 a game. I don't see them all of a sudden springing a leak and giving up 25-26 all the time. So I'd say 24, 25 points will be able to get it done in postseason football, which is usually tighter anyway. Defensive battles anyway.
I know the weather was a factor yesterday. It absolutely was a factor yesterday. But the Eagles' offense has looked good in 2 games over the last month and a half, and it was against 2 non-playoff teams.
Correct. No question. There's no argument there.
And so I don't all of a sudden just think that it's gonna click. And that's
and
why
the Eagles' defense has looked amazing
right.
against a team.
Can they win 3 straight games because of the Eagles' defense being that freaking good?
I don't know. I've seen teams do it before. Could they do it? I don't think the Eagles' offense needs to be great to have them beat different teams in the NFC.
I don't think they have to be the greatest show on turf.
No, but they have to be.
They have to have a clue, though.
Again, though.
They can't get shut out in a half.
It matters to me who they play.
Okay.
And by the way, the trifecta of the NFC West, and I'll say it right now, if they have to play the trifecta of the NFC West, they're not going to the Super Bowl. If they had to beat all 3 NFC West teams, I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl. That's the path. That's the path that I wouldn't be comfortable with. But if they had another path, yeah, I'd like it.
I just want to celebrate a win, but they don't.
I want you to too.
They don't let me.
I want you to celebrate a win at Buffalo, which is huge.
But they don't let me.
No, they let you. You're allowed today. There's no law against it.
Yeah, but
You're
I don't
choosing.
feel it. Yeah,
I got it.
I don't choose my feelings.
I like
my
your
feelings
honesty.
are my feelings.
I like your honesty.
Thank you.
I
All right,
disagree
coming up
with
next,
it, but I like it.
we played you the audio of the blocked PAT. That was the major reason why the Eagles won yesterday. What do we make of Sean McDermott's decision to go for 2? We'll talk about that next. Get your text messages and calls. It is Kincade Salciunas 97.5 The Fanatic. And it's a football Monday on the Fanatic, presented to us by our local Bryant Home Comfort team. Visit nopayBryant.com to keep your HVAC in the starting lineup. We were not on Friday, but we did do our pick segment through Connor.
Connor did a good job with that.
No, it's through Ray, through a text from Connor, through an email and text
We
from
got
you
it
guys.
out there.
We
Bottom
got it
line
out
is
there.
we got
Thanks
the picks
to
out
Bet-
there for the record.
Thank you, Bet Parks.
Our 7
for
o'clock
that.
sponsor.
Andrew, by the way, is back to 500 with 1 week. So before the end of the calendar year, a 3-1 week for Andrew Salciunas, who has won, by the way, 3 of the last 4 weeks to finish strong, with 1 week to go in the regular season. You're back to 34-34 in the season.
Me and my Ravens.
So you're back to where you started. So you're 34-34. Connor,
How's the weather down there?
another 2-2 week. You're only 2 games behind Andrew.
It's exactly where I wanted to be.
Why do you want to be in the basement?
Yeah,
Because I'm going to fade him this week.
Other
It's
than
going to be
having
good content.
Groundworks, he's got Groundworks.
I'm going
I
to
guess.
fade every single one of his picks in the final week.
Groundworks can help your.
You got
your
Groundworks,
issues.
so your basement must be comfy. But other than that, Connor is 32-36, trying to get to 500 on the year. He's at 47%. And I had a 2-2 week. A lot of puttering around the last month, but I'm at 60% on the year.
You're the Eagles' offense.
You're
taking your foot off the gas pedal.
I'm at 41-27 on the year, 60%. I'm coasting to a championship is what I'm doing. I'm resting people. But I got to tell you, I'm a little concerned with Salciunas. Slight concern. Because you're showing some life here. So we and by the way, we play through the playoffs. So there's 3 4-pick weeks coming up.
Yeah.
So there's 3 different 4-pick weeks coming up. You could, right now you're trying to bridge a gap of 7. You could do that. You could do that if you got really hot. I don't know. We'll see.
Possible. You're taking your foot off the gas pedal like the Eagles' offense.
The only thing is, though, we're picking the same games.
Oh, yeah, it's
So
true.
it makes it harder to catch up when you're picking the same games.
What did you guys make? I know we talked about
Thank
it
you,
at the
Ben
very
Parks.
beginning of the show, but what did you guys make of the decision to go for 2 by the Buffalo Bills? I thought it was stupid.
I thought it was absolutely stupid.
I tweeted as such, and a lot of people were like, no, it was a good decision by the Bills. Why? Because the Eagles won? Like
It was not a good decision.
Is that why we're saying it's a good decision?
I thought it was the right call.
Why?
Be-
Explain.
You had a quarterback that could not walk in the game, and you've got a chance with the reigning MVP, who is an incredible dual threat option, to just run one play from the 2-yard line. I don't think Buffalo, normally when you're at home, you want to extend the game if you can because you have that advantage. But in that weather, with Josh Allen clearly being hampered, I think they're like, hey, we'll just take our shot to win it now.
Thing is, he had just dominated
Yeah.
the entire fourth quarter, so I understand your point of, look, he's hobbled. He had just dominated the fourth quarter.
I don't know that he dominated. They got pretty lucky with a couple of non-calls and made calls. He didn't look like he was at his best.
I'm just saying, Josh Allen in the first half was 7 of 10 for 90 yards. He finished the day 23 of 35 for 262 yards.
I mean,
He had a much better second half than first half.
he was cooking.
yeah,
And more importantly, like,
he put the team on his back.
the Eagles' defense was reeling. They were, even though they were still doing a good job, they were reeling, and you gave them the opportunity, by the way, with a timeout and everything, to say, here's a coin flip to win the game. And I don't get it. I really don't get it. When they came back to the Fox desk afterwards, I know Andrew didn't watch it. Connor, did you watch
No.
it? They came back to that Fox desk, and they literally all stood there and shook their heads. And we're like, what in the world? Terry Bradshaw was the only one who hesitantly said half that he would do what Sean McDermott did. And the rest of them were like, what are you doing? And Howie Long and Gronk were like, I go in the locker room and be like, dude, just kick the point. Strahan goes, kick the extra point.
If it was 40 to
and let us go.
39,
Right, that's right. It's
then I say,
different.
you know what, go for 2. No, it's like the Seattle
the Rams game.
and Rams game the other week. Like no defense was getting a stop that game. So if it was 40 to 39, I'd say, yeah, you know what? Probably the best thing for the Bills to do is go for 2, try to get the win here.
Come on.
But the fact that it was 13 to 12, the Eagles defense, again, the Eagles offense had 16 total yards in the second half. 16.
Yeah, but if I've got Josh Allen from the 2 or 3 yard line to win a ball game, I'm taking that chance rather than trying to run a drive in rain and wet.
It wasn't rain anymore.
It wasn't rain. The rain had stopped.
Okay, the field surface was still underwater, boys. Let's not pretend like it all of a sudden
So you were fine with them
out.
going for 2?
I would have gone for it. I would have gone for it if it was the Eagles.
You're not going to be my coach.
I bet he's
anytime
getting
soon.
crushed today.
Yeah, probably.
He's getting crushed today.
Because the second you lose that football game, you lose your chance of winning the division, which they still had.
No chance of a home game now. So now they know they have to go 3 games on the road to try to win. And it's not good. It's not good. I mean,
Worked out for the Eagles.
It's not good.
Celebrating that.
Yeah, it works out well. I mean, the 3 seed.
Let me ask you
The
something.
3 seed was already clinched with the Carolina loss. So the Carolina loss, they had already clinched the 3 seed.
I know we don't like to play in a world of what ifs, but if they did convert, which Shakir was open, right? It was a bad throw.
It was wide open.
If he does convert, what's your tone today? Your tone, because you're much more confident than I am.
My tone would have been extreme frustration with the offense, but man, defense, I would have still.
So you still would have felt okay this morning.
Yeah, I would have been okay, but I wouldn't have been as pleased that they. When you don't come away with a win, it's a totally different situation.
Bad now.
But no. I mean, I would not have. Certainly, would not be any reason for me to be overreacting.
All right, what do we got on the text line? 610-632-0975. Are you happy that they just came away with the win, or are you more concerned about the Eagles' offensive woes like I've been for like 2 months now? What do we got?
Josh from Westchester checks in and says the defenses in the NFC are not great, but the Bills' defense isn't all that great, and they contained the Eagles 13 points. The Eagles' defense needs to carry them to the Super Bowl because even against mediocre defenses, the Eagles' offense is a liability.
Can I ask one question? What did he say about the Buffalo is not very good?
The Bills' defense is also not great.
No, the Bills' defense is very good. The Bills' defense is very good.
They're 30th in the NFL against the rush.
Against the rush, but they are one of the best teams in the league against the pass. They may be the best.
I will say this.
I think they're the best.
negative Nancy that I am.
Okay.
You knew they were going to try to run the football yesterday because of the conditions.
Yeah.
So it wasn't rocket science for the Bills' defensive coordinator and Sean McDermott to say, let's stack the box and stop Saquon Barkley. So I can't totally agree with the texter there.
No, I mean, the Eagles.
As negative as I am, I can't totally agree with the texter.
I mean, Buffalo's defense is really pretty impressive. They're a very impressive defense. Best pass, I think, in the NFL. So they're a tough team to pass against. That first half was a thing of beauty. And then whatever happened.
Well, and that's the thing. And that's I don't go Buffalo credit first. I go Eagles offensive woes continue.
Bills are number 1 against the pass in the NFL, and it's unbelievable. They're great.
And the Eagles offensive woes continue.
Oof.
All right, coming up next. The offense was horrible. It's been a big talking point, clearly. Spare me the weather. Bills also had to play through it. Nick Sirianni spoke on the Eagles offense a lot yesterday. Hear a condensed Sirianni presser. Also, John's 3 observations from the rest of the NFL. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A last-second stand. I'm Connor Thomas, and that's what the Eagles needed in Buffalo to survive a game against the Bills. A 13-12 final with the Eagles taking the victory. The offense was shut out in the second half. Jalen Hurts did not complete a pass in that half, but the defense held just enough to still find a victory, including stopping Josh Allen in the Bills' last-second 2-point conversion attempt. Jalen Hurts talked after the game about the defensive performance that led to the big win in Buffalo.
It's a big-time win. Competitive game, hell of a performance by the defense and how they played and how they were able to find a way to gut that out and make plays when we needed it the most. So glad to find a win.
And with the Bears losing to the 49ers late last night, the now 11-5 Philadelphia Eagles are still alive for the 2 seed. They're even with the Bears in record. Chicago has the tiebreaker, but if Chicago loses to Detroit in Week 18 and the Eagles take down the Commanders, Philly will be the 2 seed. Sixers fell to the Thunder 129-104 yesterday in OKC. They're off until tomorrow night. Flyers lost to the Kraken 4-1 out in Seattle last night. They'll continue their West Coast swing tomorrow night. And we'll talk to Andrew DeCecco at 7:55 for his latest thoughts on what the Birds were able to accomplish up in Buffalo. This update is brought to you by Super Shore. Do you own a small business? You need to hear this. A seismic shift is coming. It's time to get Super Shore. Not kind of sure, not pretty sure, but Super Shore coming soon. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best Birds coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
He's going to give his 3 observations from the rest of the NFL coming up in a few minutes. I saw a crazy tweet from that Dove Kleiman who probably stole it from somebody.
Who I think Tom Brady runs that account, by the way.
Sauce Gardner. Remember, cornerback. He unfortunately got hurt. He's with the Colts, was with the New York Jets. Sauce Gardner is the only player in NFL history to be on 2 different teams in a single season and only see 2 wins. He was 1-7 with the Jets before getting traded to the Colts, and the Colts went 1-7 after he got there.
Oh, my.
And don't just blame the Daniel Jones injury because they started losing before he got hurt, and then he gets hurt. They tried the Phillip Rivers thing. Rivers hasn't been horrible. But
No, he certainly is not.
But they have not been good enough to win. That's a rough record to have stamped next to your name in NFL history.
Think of how much money Phillip Rivers made in his career. Did you see what he did yesterday? I know. Were you red zoning it yesterday or not?
Yeah, I was bouncing around.
Did you see that they flew up the entire every football player and their dad from his football team?
Oh, that's cool.
Got to go to the Colts game.
That's really cool.
That he coached. So every single player and their dad got to come up. And Phillip Rivers not only picked it up for them, but chartered the plane
that's awesome.
That flew them back and forth and put them up in Indianapolis.
That's nice.
How much money Phillip Rivers has the money.
Yeah.
But seriously, I'm sure the Colts helped.
He's made some good investments.
It was a Colts game, so the tickets were, what, $25 pop?
No, they have a great fan base.
Maybe they gave him a family discount.
But they have a great fan base.
So Phillip Rivers already uses enough of the family discount.
He does.
All right, Nick Sirianni after the game yesterday, of course, was asked about the offense numerous times. Here's a little condensed version of Sirianni going back and forth with members of the Eagles media.
For the 5 drives, you guys ran twice first. You ran on first and second down and pass. I know collectively you're not really looking at it that way, but you feel like you got too predictable.
No, I think that obviously it's something that we got to mix in some of the play action things that we've done so well in the last couple weeks and not wait there. Again, that's on me. I know what the first play is going into every series, and so we got to do some different things there. We hit some good runs there in the first half. It wasn't hitting the same way, so we had to change. I should have done a better job there in that particular case to change some approaches there. But just pumped to get out of here with a win. This is like I said, this is a hostile place.
To take you back off Jeff's question, if not predictable, it's maybe conservative, especially given that you lost a couple of 2-score leads in the fourth quarter earlier in the season against Denver and Dallas. Do you think it was too conservative at the end of the game?
Like I said, I need to do a better job in that second half. I didn't do a good enough job. So I'm always going to look at myself first and foremost. I got to look at it. I got to look at the tape. We weren't in a mode of saying, hey, 13-0 is enough. Not against this quarterback, not against this offense. And so I don't think our mindset was ever that. No, but again, I got to do a better job there in that scenario, and I'll put that on myself.
In the process of doing a better job, you were talking about how you had to get more involved. Does that happen in real time when the play is called by Kevin, or do you go back to him at the bench and say, hey, we could do this, we could do that?
It's hard in real time, Sal, because, if there's a play called and then I say to myself, right there in that scenario, then you're going to get low on the play clock. So it's got to be better communication from me. Again, I'm saying Kevin did a great job, especially in that first half. I just need to do a better job there in the second half. Again, everything that is on that field has my name on it, nobody else. So I had to do a better job there. And so it's tough in real time, Sal. It's got to be something that's done a little bit more by me in between series, and that's always a challenge because you're managing the game, you're looking at different things, you're trying to make sure you're looking at things. But I have to do it. I've done that before, so I need to do a better job.
Okay, I think he needs to do a better job.
Yeah, he told you that,
man, over and over again.
So when he talks about if I disagree with the play call, I don't want to get in his ear because then we won't have much time left. How often does that happen is a question of mine, considering the Eagles' offense has been shut out 4 different times throughout an entire half this year. I believe the updated totals is now 11 of 15 games. They've scored a touchdown or less in an entire half. So clearly there are a lot of times where the Eagles' offense has been sputtering. There have been times where you could blame Jalen Hurts for it.
Sure.
There are times where you could blame the offensive line for it.
By the way, Hurts has gone an hour and a half without there's been no critique from us.
No, because I thought
Yesterday
he
was
was.
nothing,
I
yeah.
didn't think it was a Jalen Hurts problem.
Because
Like,
last
I really
night,
don't.
I just want to say that because last night it was, sports radio tomorrow is just going to be crushing Jalen Hurts. No, not at all.
No,
I thought his first
that.
half was fantastic.
Yeah.
Second half was not, but I don't blame that. I think the offensive line stunk.
I thought the offensive
The
line
second
stunk,
half.
and there were a lot of questions about
Yes.
whether or not the Eagles' offensive game plan, because you heard
It's terrible.
Jalen again. We played Hurts earlier in the show. He talked about, we got to keep being aggressive throughout the game. Goes back to the Rams game. Got to stop playing not to lose, right? Like,
What? There you go.
I feel like this has been a consistent message that we keep on hearing from players. And then we had 2 wins against the Commanders and Raiders where the offense looked good and then went away for a little bit. And then you played a playoff team and you saw potentially the real Eagles offense. Or I'm not going to say potentially. That was the real Eagles offense yesterday. Like, it's been –
No, that's it.
This is the offense we've watched pretty much all season long.
That's it.
A bad offense that goes dead. I mean, dead. Like, they're not getting first downs. They got 1 first down in the second half yesterday.
Is that bad?
Yes.
What was it, like 19 yards or 16 yards
They
in
had
the second
16
half?
yards because of the kneel down. at the
That's
end.
it. That's incredible.
They finished with 16 yards in the second half of that football game yesterday with 1 first down in the second half. That can't be a recipe for success come playoff time. The defense is so good. Don't waste it. I'm thinking of the Phillies a lot. The pitching staff and how dominant the pitching staff was. Don't waste this pitching staff with your lackluster offense. And what did they do? They wasted the pitching staff with their lackluster offense. It's very similar, and it's scary. All right,
Brutal.
football music, please. John, give your 3 observations for the rest of the NFL.
All right. Number one, the winner of the NFC South, whether it be the Carolina Panthers or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is not coming to South Philadelphia in January and winning a game. And there's a chance that could happen if the 2 seed got upset.
Right.
In the second round. The 2 seed would have to get upset, and that would end up being your divisional round matchup. But I can tell you confidently, Baker Mayfield's turned into a pumpkin. I'm a big Baker Mayfield fan, so I'm somebody who might have egg on his face. I'm a big believer in Baker Mayfield. He's been terrible.
Yeah.
He looks bad. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think, have reacted very poorly to when Todd Bowles called out his team. They've rolled over and died. And they have a game for the division title coming up Saturday. To me, neither one of those teams is coming into South Philadelphia and winning. So take out the NFC South.
I'll agree with you on that one.
All right,
how's that sound, Johnny?
The 4-seed winner's not coming in. Chicago.
4 seed might not win a playoff game if we can start there.
No, yeah, there you go. Chicago will most likely be the 2 seed. If they beat Detroit at home on Sunday afternoon, they will be the 2 seed. And that means Green Bay is just going to sit there because Green Bay is the 7 seed.
Yeah.
So Jordan Love's going to get another week of rest. And we've seen Jordan Love go up against the Chicago Bears, and there is no fear. And remember, just a couple weeks ago, the Green Bay Packers had a 2-score lead in the fourth quarter late against the Chicago Bears, and it took a miracle for the Bears to beat them. There's a really, really good chance that the Green Bay Packers could beat the Chicago Bears in that wild card weekend matchup, which would then, if the Eagles could advance, could give them a second home game.
If I'm the Packers, I ain't playing anybody week 18.
Oh, they're not. They're not. They're going to, I guarantee you, LaFleur, he has a eyebrow waxing this morning, and he'll be thinking only about that.
I just
That's
think,
only what he'll be thinking
Like
about.
Josh Jacobs is clearly not right.
They're going to shelve everybody. They're going to get ready for that game, and believe me, those two hate each other.
Yeah.
The two coaches hate each other, and LaFleur always has a really good game plan. That's going to be a great matchup, and there's a great shot that the 7-seed Packers could beat the Bears, which would give the Eagles, if they could win their game, another home game. Last up, Eagles will play the loser of Saturday night's game between San Francisco and Seattle in the wild card round, as long as the Rams win tonight versus Atlanta and then beat Arizona. So that's the matchup there. If the Rams beat Arizona at home, and Arizona is left for dead, they haven't won a game in. I think they're on an 8-game losing streak.
I think Jonathan Gannon's on his way out.
I think they say he's safe though. I don't understand how. But he's on because they don't believe in the quarterback that he had and all that stuff. So, and they're still playing hard.
He and Mike McCarthy got pictures on people.
I don't know how.
Or Mike McDaniel.
They should wipe
Mike
swap.
McCarthy also had pictures on
Well,
people.
the Dolphins are playing hard, and you picked them this week, which is a good pick. Arizona, looks dead. So if the Rams win tonight and the Rams win against Arizona at home, the Rams are going to be the 5 seed. So they'll be the 5 seed. So they won't come here. So that means Saturday night we're going to sit down and see whoever wins that game. I mean, they'll be the 1 seed, and the loser of that game is going to come to Philly. I think the disappointment of not winning the 1 seed. Remember what happened last year to Minnesota? Remember that?
Uh-huh.
Playing for the 1 seed last year against Detroit. And then they went out and had to play on the road wild card weekend, and they just rolled over and died. I think it's a great scenario for the Eagles, playing the loser of that game.
All right.
And that's what it'll be. They'll play San Francisco, Seattle loser. The question will just be, and we got plenty of time to talk about it, and you guys will probably talk about it all week. I'll be back on Friday with you. But who? Just got instinct this morning. San Francisco, Seattle coming in here. Which one would you want?
Seattle.
And we're all saying Seattle.
Yeah.
And why are we saying that? Because I don't
Samuel Darnold.
See, I'm saying it because of Kyle Shanahan.
No, yeah.
I don't want to go up against Kyle.
Twofold.
I don't want to go up against Kyle Shanahan.
He freaks me out.
Yeah, he's really good, and he's a terrible neighbor. But I don't want to go up against him.
Connor asked me if we wanted to do something today. The answer is always yes. But I'll be honest, I felt a little funny. Victory Monday montage comes right next. Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
from 28 yards out. Elliott puts it up and through. And so it's 13-0 Eagles.
We got into a good rhythm and good groove. We're able to move the ball down the field in the first half. And in the second half, a lot of things that I have to watch the tape on to be able to pinpoint. You always look yourselves in the mirror with that.
4th and goal. It's Allen. Needs it. In trouble. Allen. Can he do it? Tries to take it. He is short. He is short. Down at the one, and the Eagles take over. 3rd and long. Allen can't find what he wants. See if he takes off here. Goes way around. Now he's in big trouble. Allen is sacked. Monster loss. And it's Jalen Hunt who's got another one today.
Hell of a performance by the defense and how they played and how they were able to find a way to gut that out and make plays when we needed it the most.
Under center here is going to just push him forward. That'll work. Allen is the end. Touchdown, Buffalo. He can run forward. 13th rushing touchdown of the year for Josh Allen. Most of any quarterback. Now this one is blocked. It is blocked. Badgley, who had a rough debut last week for the injured Matt Prater. And that one doesn't get home, so it stays a full 7 points. Was it Jalen Carter who got it? It's tough to see. Let's find out. Oh, look how high he is.
Oh, my God, look at that.
3rd and goal. Allen, blitz, picked up, throws, caught, knocked, and touchdown, Bills! Now let's see, was he in?
Yeah, right there on the catch to Knox. Traffic.
Oh,
he's short.
Not. Here it is. Allen is shoved over and in. Touchdown, Buffalo. Allen looking to throw. Pressure throws. Incomplete. Don't see a flag. Eagles going to hold on.
All right, Eagles held on to win. That's how it sounded, courtesy of Fox.
How did he miss that throw? I just saw the replay.
He's on his back foot.
Yeah, no, it was the pressure that the Eagles pass rush put on him.
Of course,
he had to get rid of the ball a second before he was on his back foot, and he had to get rid of it a second earlier than he wanted to release it because it was the pass rush that caused that. Because that's terrible. He was wide open.
Eagles pass rush.
The
Eagles pass rush has saved how many games for them this year?
I mean, unreal. I mean, it's incredible.
And the Eagles pass rush has kept them in how many games?
And by the way, the Eagles pass rush has exploded because there was a part of this year where it wasn't a factor.
Yeah, remember, before the trade deadline, before they acquired my man, Jalen Phillips, Zadarius Smith was still your leading sack. He had the most sacks on the team. Zadarius Smith, who retired. Like, think about that for a second. And since they acquired Jalen Phillips, since the return of Jalen Carter now yesterday, since the return of Nolan Smith, that's a big part of it, too. Nolan Smith had been out for a while. This Eagles pass rush has been vicious getting to quarterbacks. And they're making quarterbacks. Josh Allen was uncomfortable yesterday. Like, all game long. He was uncomfortable. Even in the fourth quarter comeback, they did a great job of making him uncomfortable.
Think of it this way. The Rams were up 30-14 with 8 minutes left in that game with Seattle, with a chance to clinch the NFC West and the number 1 seed going into their final 2 games with 1 win. And they've now been eliminated from both before they take the field going into their last 2 games. I mean, things change quickly in the NFC.
They sure do. It's amazing. All right, coming up next, our man Andrew DeCecco will join us for his to check in the day after. What did he make of this Eagles game yesterday? How does he feel about the offensive performance? And, of course, the incredible day by the defense. We'll talk about it next with Andrew DeCecco here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
The Eagles defense dominates again. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Birds survived a fourth quarter surge in Buffalo to take down the Bills 13-12 yesterday. Defense was able to shut out the Bills through 3 quarters. But then the Eagles' offense was shut out for the entire second half. Defense held just enough to still find a victory, including stopping Josh Allen and the Bills' last-second 2-point conversion attempt. Jalen Hurts, well, he had a rough second half, but Nick Sirianni was the one who took responsibility for the offensive struggles after the game.
I put it on myself. I got to help with some things that I know we want to get called. You know, Kevin did a good job in that first half, but I got to help in that second half a little bit, getting some things that we want to get called there, you know, in execution. It's everything.
However they got there, the Eagles are now 11-5. And with the Bears losing to the 49ers last night, they're still alive for the 2 seed. If the Bears win Sunday against the Commanders and the Bears lose to Detroit, Philly will be the 2 seed in the NFC playoff picture. The Sixers fell to the Thunder 129-104 yesterday in OKC. They're off until tomorrow night. Flyers lost to the Kraken 4-1 out in Seattle last night. They're off until tomorrow as they continue their West Coast swing. And Andrew DeCecco joins us coming up next for his breakdown of what in the world we watched in Buffalo yesterday. But hey, at least it was an Eagles win. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
It is 7:56 on this football Monday. Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities, reacting to an Eagles win 13-12 over the Buffalo Bills, where the defense was absolutely dominant yet again. And unfortunately, yet again, the Eagles offense was shut out for a half, the fourth time this season where they've been shut out for a half. So to try to make sense of it all from inside the Birds at 97.5, The Fanatic on the Comcast Business Hotline, where every day in business is a big day. Let Comcast Business help you move forward with what's next. Our man Andrew DeCecco joins us. Andrew, first and foremost, I hope you had a wonderful Christmas, a wonderful holiday season, and now we get to talk about the real stuff. Let's start with the defense, because I want to lead with the positive, Andrew.
Do you?
I do, because the defense is the only reason why they could potentially get back to a Super Bowl. When you watch that Eagles defense be as vicious as they were yesterday, does it make you think that you may be watching one of the better defenses in Eagles franchise history?
Yeah, I think so, Andrew. And when you look at all three levels of that defense, they're really coming together at the right time. Jalen Carter, first game back, has the block point after attempt. The sack of Josh Allen, Moro Jomo, constant penetration, Jordan Davis. I think the edge rusher group has gotten a lot better ever since the arrival of Jalen Phillips. And then Marcus Epps on the back end has steadied things. He's calmed it down, that safety position opposite Reed Blankenship. And they've gotten quality cornerback 2 play out of Adoree Jackson. And you couple that with some of the preeminent players that they already have on that unit, whether it's Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Zach Bond, and some of those guys. So I think this is one of the best defenses in team history. I don't think that's hyperbole. Look at the game against the Green Bay Packers, the Detroit Lions, most recently yesterday, and it's not hyperbole to suggest, and the Raiders game as well, that this is one of the better defenses in the league. And you can argue that it's one of the best in team history.
What about the offense concerns you the most?
The lack of consistency, John, from half to half, and not being able to lean on anything in particular. I think the fact that they can't run the football and they lean so heavily on the running game, if they can't run the football effectively, they're not going to have consistent offense. That's just the nature of the way that this Eagles offense is wired. And I think just their inability to put together a complete game, all 4 quarters, and you sort of force almost every week the Eagles defense to do a lot of the heavy lifting. It's just not sustainable, and the offense hasn't, for whatever reason, well, for a lot of reasons, been able to put together 4 quarters. And we're this late in the season, that can't happen, obviously. So it's kind of maddening to watch, especially how effective they were given the conditions to start the game, and then almost revert back to a lot of the punchless offense, I guess, if you will, that we've seen many times throughout the season.
Yeah, and it's a shame because John questions it, but I do want to come in here today celebrating. Like, going into Buffalo and holding Josh Allen to 12 points is tremendous. But I've watched the Eagles offense 11 out of 15 games this year look below average, below their standards. Let's not hold to any other standards but their own. Below their standards with the talent that's here.
Right.
So you question whether or not it is sustainable. This is why I have very little faith, or no faith at all, in the Eagles going back to a Super Bowl, because I can't see them win 3 playoff games where the defense has to be the sole reason that you're winning games.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. We've seen, however, glimpses of the offense being able to be sort of on the same level of what we were expecting, but it hasn't been consistent enough. You saw it against the Chargers, aside from the turnovers, the Raiders and the Commanders, and there have been other times throughout the season, parts of the Buccaneers game, parts of the Rams game, they just haven't been consistent enough. I believe that in the postseason, they will be able to formulate some sort of an offense that it may not look, it may not always look pretty, but I think they should be able to generate some sort of consistency there, enough so where the defense doesn't always have to do the heavy lifting. Because how many times we heard this season, A.J. Brown even talk about, we can't keep asking the defense and the special teams to do that. We have to step up as an offense and make plays. So I think it's fair to have some concern going into the postseason based off of the pretty considerable sample size that we have. But I just get the sense that the Eagles and Jalen Hurts in particular are going to be able to do enough offensively to keep pace, I guess, or try to be complementary to what they have from a defensive standpoint.
All right, can I ask, and it's $1 million question.
You can ask because your name's on the show.
It's $1 million question. Why do you say that? Why do you think that they can find something? And I look, they have all the talent in the world. I know who's on this team. We're about to celebrate New Year's. We're about to count down the ball dropping in Times Square. And we're talking about maybe the offense, or we believe the offense will find something come playoff time against better teams. Why do you believe that?
Yeah. Demonstrated performance, experience, being in those high-leverage situations in the postseason. And I think what we've seen from Jalen Hurts and a lot of those leaders is that they tend to elevate or at least do enough to be able to hold up their end of the bargain. I have no questions about this defense. That's a championship level defense, and they can and they have won the Eagles games. But the offense that we saw yesterday, I don't think that I think that was a pretty drastic discrepancy there. I don't know that you're going to quite see something to that effect in the postseason. I do believe that they're going to try to. I mean, you're going to see Jalen Hurts do different things, like open things up with his legs and run the football a little bit, and that's going to open up the running game. And I do believe that they're going to be a little bit more creative in that regard, knowing that it's win or go home.
I think what backs up your point there, Andrew, I would say, is that one thing we know is that Jalen Hurts on the biggest stages elevates his game to a whole new level, and he has done that. And Nick Sirianni, to his credit, McVay, LaFleur, McDermott, Dan Campbell, all the biggest names in coaching,
Right.
He dominates them. His record against them, he dominates them. So whatever it is, he walks off a winner, even though it is maddening, as you used the word earlier. I wrote it down. It's maddening at times. It's frustrating, but it happens.
Yeah, you're certainly right there, John. It is maddening how you can see such a stark contrast from offensive efficiency in one half, and then everything sort of goes by the wayside. They're unraveled and they're disjointed in the second half. Jalen Hurts mentioned them playing a little bit more man coverage early in the second half and things like that. But there's always seems to be a different reason for why they're not performing to standard. But to your point, you look around the NFC. If you're looking for a silver lining here, I thought the Rams and the Seahawks both got exploited in terms of their secondary. The 49ers, they are missing Nick Bosa and Fred Warner. Those are two pretty key players on their defensive side, and that they can make they're game changers. And you look at Matt LaFleur and the Chicago Bears. They're a young, inexperienced team. I don't know if they're quite ready to do it yet. And so I look at the Eagles and their demonstrated performance and their experience of being there in that moment and know how they're going to respond. And I think you give them the slight edge, but I don't feel necessarily overwhelming about really any team in the NFC.
Andrew DeCecco joins us on the Comcast Business Hotline. I need you to explain something to me. I know we're not all that invested in the Pro Bowl rosters, but tell me how Eagles MVP Braden Mann did not make the NFC Pro Bowl roster, considering he may be the MVP of the Eagles team this year, considering how bad the Eagles offense has been.
Yeah, listen, look, I've been a pretty big proponent in Braden Mann, and all season long he's done a nice job of getting the Eagles offense out of a jam and helping them win that field position battle. They also have some really good coverage from Keely Ringo and a lot of those guys. But Braden Mann, just really consistent. To hit a ball 65 yards in the driving rain and just be really consistent. He hit a 50-yarder standing in the end zone where he could only take one step. And I think that he sort of gets taken for granted. Now, you never want to see your punter, obviously, go out there 7 times in the modern era. But I think that he's done a really solid job. And to me, I think it's criminal that he didn't get elected into the Pro Bowl. That's Tress Way. The Commanders punter. He's there for his 3rd time. I understand that he has the reputation, but I thought that Braden, at every turn this season, has really stepped up and delivered for the Eagles.
Is that a bigger oversight than Jordan Davis?
Yeah.
I think so.
Because, Jordan Davis is it almost seems criminal.
Yeah, I think Jordan Davis is the biggest snub. And because Tressway is a good punter, I think that if you're looking at the numbers, Braden's been better. But Jordan Davis has been a dominant force for one of the NFL's best defenses. And there were a lot of questions going into the season, John, about conditioning. He says all the right things, but is he going to be able to match that with actions? And he's checked off all of those boxes. 4.5 sacks on the season, and playing the most snaps he has in his career by a wide margin. How he didn't make the Pro Bowl is egregious. And I think that's why the NFL as a whole needs to take a step back and really reevaluate how they determine these votes, because he in a season, and I mentioned I don't have a horse in the race, but when you see a player who has a career year who really deserves it, and you see some deference shown to players with reputation, that bothers me a little bit.
Last thing for you. I know we'll talk to you again throughout the course of the week, but I'm curious where your brain is at today on this Monday morning. Are you playing the starters this upcoming weekend for the Eagles in hopes to still get the 2 seed, or will you value rest more if you were making the decision?
No, as long as the 2 seed's still alive, and it very much is, knowing how the Eagles operate, I would expect that they would give heavy consideration in playing the starters. Now, for how long, that remains to be determined. The Commanders are not a good football team, but I think the best case scenario here, guys, is the Eagles get out to an earlier lead and they turn things over to a lot of their reserves. And let's face it, the Eagles should be able to beat the Commanders with a lot of their reserves.
Yeah.
Tanner McKee and a lot of those players. If the Eagles can kind of build up an early lead, they should be able to turn it over and take care of business on their end. And then you have to see where the chips fall around the NFL after that.
All right, Andrew, we appreciate the time as always, man. I'm hanging out with you on Thursday. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. Well, I'll see you on Thursday. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks, buddy.
And we'll talk to you later this week.
Take care, guys. Have a great one.
There he is. Andrew Zacek on the Comcast Business Hotline.
New Year's morning.
New Year's morning.
Andrew and Andrew.
Yes. That New Year's morning? That's
New Year's morning.
Yeah.
That is.
John's amazed that I will watch Stranger Things.
He's going to watch Stranger Things on New Year's Eve.
I'm not staying up till midnight, and I don't go out.
He's not going to go out on New Year's Eve. He's not going to stay up till midnight, and he's going to watch Stranger Things.
That's probably what I'm going to do.
And what do you want me to do with my child?
That's what you're going to do, too?
You want me to get a babysitter?
Why not?
I got 4 a.m. wake up the next day. I'm working, man.
I used to get a babysitter, and I would do the national show every day at 6 a.m. on the network every New Year's Day. So I'd lived that life.
New Year's is overrated.
And
anyway.
I had a kid,
Yeah,
too.
I'm anti-New Year's.
Oh, that's what it is. And anti-Eagles wins in Buffalo, obviously.
No,
From your whole tone today.
Anti-believing in this Eagles offense will figure things out. December 29th.
Unbelievable.
All right, coming up next, Monday Morning Radio host, where we react to Nick Sirianni's presser here on 97.5 The Fanatic. It is 8:13 on this football Monday, presented to us by our friends at the local Bryant Home Comfort Team. Visit nopaybryant.com to keep your HVAC in the starting lineup. Let's go to Phil in Palm Beach, and then we'll do our Monday morning radio host. What's up, Phil? You're on Kincade Salciunas. Phil.
Yeah, hey, what's up?
What's up,
What's
man?
up, Phil?
Am I on the air?
Yes.
Yes, Phil.
Oh, my goodness. Hi. Hello from sunny Palm Beach, Florida. Big Eagles fan, originally from Lancaster, PA.
Good for you.
And thank you. So love the show and all that good stuff. I've been listening for years. So what I want to say is, I mean, there's so much to say about last night's win. But what my feeling is, two things. Number one, I think it's obvious. We're not going to get far into the playoffs if the offense continues not to produce points. And the other thing that I'll say about that is, if you've noticed, Jalen Hurts has not rushed a lot. I would say generally this season, but definitely the last, I'll say 4 or 5 games. What I'm hoping is that, or what I would suggest if I were coaching, start putting it in his head and do some design plays where he has the option to take off. Maybe he's definitely been protecting the football, and he's probably protecting his body at this point. And what I'll say is, if they can do the schemes and not just run up the middle with Saquon like we're all tired of, but do the schemes and have him as a wild card, excuse the pun, to be able to take off.
Yeah, I mean, Phil, they started doing that, and thanks for the call.
They
We appreciate it, man. The last 2 weeks. And look, the Eagles' offense looked better the last 2 weeks. Now, was that Commanders-Raiders? Or was it Hurts running the football more?
Right.
Maybe both could be true, right? Like they did.
No, they can't.
Both could be true. I agree with Phil that Hurts needs to be more of a factor running the football in the playoffs. Yesterday, maybe it was the weather that kept them from doing it.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, the weather was terrible yesterday, but for both teams too.
Yeah. All right. Time now for our Monday morning radio host.
Now, the Monday morning radio host on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Brought to us by who, Connor?
Our friends over at Lundy Law for over 70 years. Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people, so if you need them, and maybe you matched up with the Eagles defense, so you could need them, remember the name Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com. That's LundyLaw.com.
By the way, Dawood asked, what's the Eagles' record in the games they've been shut out for an entire half? They are 2-2.
2-2.
2-2. So the fact that they have 2 wins,
that's impressive.
Shows how good the defense
That's
is.
shocking, yes.
Monday morning radio hosts, we do what we do best. We react to what other people say, and we don't break down film. We break down Sirianni's press conference. Here he was yesterday talking about, hey, got to take pride in the win.
You got to give yourself points when you win football games. There's always things to clean up when you come out of a football game. If you come out of a football game where you win on the road, again, in a hostile environment, against a really good football team that's had the sustained success that we have, like if you come out of this and you're just thinking about all the negative things that happen, that makes for a miserable existence. We'll get there. We'll get to what we need to clean up, and really good first half by the offense, not a great second half, and a lot of different reasons why. Winning's hard in this league, and I'm always going to enjoy a win. And then I'm going to be really hypercritical on myself first and foremost, and then the rest of the guys after that, and the coaches. Yeah, you feel great.
What does it mean? The hyper again. I ask this all the time. What does it mean when they say we're going to be no one's going to be more critical than us? We're going to be hypercritical. It never amounts to anything.
Not this year, at least. Yeah.
No, but it doesn't amount to anything. Them being hypercritical themselves.
Yeah.
That's the part that's just very frustrating.
I would love to know what the Eagles' offensive text chain looks like versus the Eagles' defensive text chain. Like, I want to know. Like, man, this offense is killing us. They got to be gassed, dude.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, they're on the field for 8 hours in every football game.
That's what it seems like, doesn't it?
My God. Here's Sirianni talking about the return of Jalen Carter.
Just a big-time player who makes big plays. I mean, you saw it, right? In big sack. We did a good job of getting after Josh Allen, I have the utmost respect for Josh Allen. Voted him MVP last year, so I'm stating the obvious. The pressure he was able to put on, the blocked extra point was huge. I actually, as we went through some of the highlights afterwards, I forgot to mention it, and that was a huge huge play because then they're kicking a field goal or an extra point to win the game at the end instead of going for 2 to try to win. Huge to have him back. He did a great job of taking care of himself and getting himself ready to go, and it's huge to have him back and involved in that defense.
I didn't notice it till we just played it. How did he not mention it to his players?
I don't understand it either.
That's the reason why you won the football game.
How is that not mentioned?
The block extra point by Jalen Carter is the reason why the Bills decided to go for 2 and did not convert.
He was going through all the accomplishments this season long, like Dallas Goedert, most tight end receiving touchdowns, A.J. Brown, 1,000 yards, Saquon, like stuff like that. So I guess it just got lost in the shuffle with the accomplishments.
I feel like you can't lose that. I feel like that's and all of this doesn't happen. We're not celebrating
that's
today
crazy
if not
me,
first.
If not this.
We mentioned it 2 minutes in the show. All right, here he was being asked whether or not the play calling was too conservative in the second half. Stop me if you've heard that question before.
Like I said, I need to do a better job in that second half. I didn't do a good enough job. So I'm always going to look at myself first and foremost. I got to look at it. I got to look at the tape. We weren't in a mode of saying, hey, 13-0 is enough. Not against this quarterback, not against this offense. And so I don't think our mindset was ever that. No, but again, I got to do a better job there in that scenario, and I'll put that on myself.
Okay, he was covering so much for Patullo yesterday in that press conference. I mean, he was just absolutely covering for him because he constantly did and he mixed his possessive pronouns a lot. He was trying to do the we to I, we to I, we, I. He then just started to take all the blame on himself. The blame's not all on you, Nick. You have somebody whose job that is to do. Your job's to be the head coach, and the guy who you've given the offense coordinator job to is letting you down.
Well, here he is on the communication process between he and Patullo and how Sirianni admits that he doesn't want to necessarily get in his ear.
It's hard in real time, Sal, because, if there's a play called and then I say to myself, right there in that scenario, then you're going to get low on the play clock. So it's got to be better communication from me. Again, I'm saying Kevin did a great job, especially in that first half. I just need to do a better job there in the second half. Again, everything that is on that field has my name on it, nobody else. So I had to do a better job there. And so it's tough in real time, Sal. It's got to be something that's done a little bit more by me in between series, and that's always a challenge because you're managing the game, you're looking at different things, you're trying to make sure you're looking at things. But I have to do it. I've done that before, so I need to do a better job in that scenario.
It's admirable, but it's annoying. When he does, Kevin was great in the first half. I got to do a better job in the second half. Come on, dude. I get it. He's your boy. You love him. But he was great in the first half. Everything in the first half, it was Patullo. Second half was bad because of me. It's annoying.
He's got to stop it.
It's admirable, but it's annoying.
I have a feeling this will be stopped by the owner at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Unless this team goes on an incredible run. And
we'll see. Because right now,
bad.
I think you're getting the second year of Kevin Patullo.
Because it's bad.
Why? Because, listen, this team's defense is going to get them to win enough games. Do you move on to that guy?
No, the owner's not putting up with this.
Howie knows it. Jeffrey Lurie knows it.
Continuity.
They are not putting up with this.
There is no way.
I'm just saying.
They are not putting up with this.
Coming up next.
They are not putting up with this.
There's no way. Please.
There's a way.
No, not the owner is not putting up with this. No.
With all the money they invested in this
The owner is not putting up with it.
4
with the
games
amount
they've been shut out in a half.
No, they're not putting up with
this. And they're 2-2, so the offense has lost them 2 games. Because of that.
Terrible.
And they're lucky they won the other 2. All right, coming up next, 2 seed is still alive. A lot can still change in the NFC. We'll give you all of the scenarios next. And also my 3 observations from the rest of the NFL. We do it every single Monday. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Still alive for the 2 seed. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles survived a fourth quarter surge in Buffalo to take down the Bills 13-12 yesterday. Bills scored all 12 of their points in that final quarter, but the Eagles offense, them getting shut out in the second half, did not help. The defense ultimately held up just enough, though, to find a victory, including stopping Josh Allen in the Bills' last-second 2-point conversion attempt. Jalen Hurts talked about the defensive performance that led to the big win in Buffalo.
It's a big-time win. Competitive game, hell of a performance by the defense and how they played and how they were able to find a way to gut that out and make plays when we needed it the most. So glad to find a win.
And there are two sides to the football game, so the defense can get you to those victories. And with the Bears losing to the 49ers late last night, the Eagles are still alive for that 2 seed. If the Birds win Sunday and the Bears lose to Detroit, Philly will be the 2 seed in the NFC playoff bracket. Sixers fell to the Thunder 129-104 yesterday in Oklahoma City. They're off until tomorrow night. The Flyers lost to the Kraken 4-1 out in Seattle late last night. They're also off until tomorrow as they continue their West Coast swing. So we got a lot of stuff going on this week, including the Eagles taking on the Commanders 4:25 on Sunday. This update is brought to you by us here at 97.5 The Fanatic, and I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the Best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
The unfiltered high school athlete of
.27 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. I will give my 3 observations from the rest of the NFL coming up in a few minutes. But, John, this is when you are at your best with the spreadsheet. The NFL playoff scenarios. We are entering Week 18. There is 1 week left of the NFL regular season.
It's a weird week, too.
Very weird week. There's only 2 divisions still up for grabs. One in the AFC, the North, with the Steelers and Ravens playing a do-or-die game Week 18. Same with the Panthers and the Bucks for the NFC South. But then other than that, it's really just seed shifting. You said earlier the Packers are set in stone in the 7th seed, right?
They're the 7th seed.
Yeah.
They are going to be the 7th seed, so they have nothing to play for.
And the Seahawks are the 1 seed.
Matt LaFleur, well, the Seahawks are the 1 seed if they beat the 49ers.
Right.
If the 49ers beat the Seahawks, they're the 1
Niners
seed.
are the 1 seed.
And
right.
they will be, if the Rams, the scenario is this, the Rams win their 2 games, tonight against the Falcons, and then at home against Arizona, they're the 5 seed.
Right. Because they have the NFC.
The 5
it's
seed.
the NFC West record.
So
their record would be better than the Seahawks.
They would be the 5 seed. So that's the way that breaks down there. So there's there's weird stuff to play for, but it is the Eagles are going to play the loser as long as we don't. The Rams are not losing, right, Connor? Can we agree on this? Rams are not losing to the Falcons tonight.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Yeah.
And Rams are not losing to Arizona, who've lost 8 in a row.
I would imagine
at
so.
home. They're not losing. Okay, so Rams are not losing either one of those games. Then the Rams are going to be the 5 seed.
At 5.
Rams are the 5 seed. That means the Eagles are playing the loser of Saturday night's game between Seattle and the 49ers. Whoever loses that game is going to come to South Philly and play the Eagles. And last year, we saw this exact scenario. Detroit and Minnesota. Whoever won the Detroit-Minnesota game was the 1 seed. Whoever lost was the 5 seed. And then Minnesota went as the 5 seed, lost that game, the big Price is Right horns.
Yeah.
And then they went out and just, they don't even get a home game. You go from being, we could be the 1 seed, to we don't even get a home game.
Yeah.
And they and they were gone by halftime. It was over by halftime.
Now, the Eagles still have a chance to climb up to the 2 seed. And if they do that,
the Bears must lose at home to the Lions.
And the Eagles have to win.
And the Eagles have to win.
And then they'd host the Packers.
And they would host the Packers.
So, likelihood of all those things happening. I'm going to guess they stay as the 3 seed. That's just my guess.
I'm going to guess they stay as the 3 seed. And I love, with a capital L, play on words for Ray Dunn. I love the Packers' chances to go into Chicago
and win
and beat the young Bears.
Totally disagree.
Oh, I don't.
That Packers team is so dead, man. They are so dead. They got guys getting carted off left and right.
They do.
They're down so many players. Jordan Love in the postseason had his moments.
Was it 2 weeks ago? Shefty said to us they're this year's Lions, where he just thinks, how are they going to keep overcoming all these injuries? But San Fran, I said the same thing about the Niners, and the Niners could be the 1 seed. Yeah, Shefty came out on Tuesday last week because of Christmas Eve. And he pointed out that the Niners could end up having 5 straight home games.
They could.
They played at home yesterday. They play at home in Week 18. And the Super Bowl is in their stadium.
Right. The Saturday before Christmas. The Saturday night before Christmas. That Bears game, Packers game, was amazing.
Yeah.
Great game. The Packers dominated them. The Bears got lucky as hell to win that game. It was as if anyone wants to portray the Eagles blocking 2 kicks as lucky to beat the Rams, the Bears were luckier to beat the Packers that night. And that was the Saturday before Thanksgiving. I mean, before Christmas. That was this is just a couple weeks ago. The Packers have no problem with playing with the Bears, no problem going into Soldier Field. That is the Bears do not want to see the Packers.
No.
Do not want to see Matt LaFleur. And they're going to just sit back and wait and rest.
And they need to do it.
And they're the team, by the way, that has playoff experience. The Bears have none. I love the fact that Green Bay has a chance to go in there. Love that.
By the way, Trevor Rice on our YouTube chat wants to know if the Lions would try to win to screw their division rival or lose to screw the hated Eagles. No, it's division rival. And by the way, it's his old buddy.
Right. By the way,
you think Dan Campbell's going to punt away a chance to beat Ben Johnson?
I mean, come on. They're not going to. They're not rolling over at that point.
There is no Eagles-Lions rivalry. Like, that doesn't exist.
There is absolutely no thing.
Lions-Bears does.
I mean, it is going to be so much. I can't wait to watch it.
Hit me with some football music. Got my 3 observations from the rest of the NFL. I will start off with my Ravens. They saved me for another week.
From the propeller hat.
No propeller hat today because
by the way, they were great.
Steelers. Oh yeah, they were. Derrick Henry was
Derrick
great
Henry
the other
was
night.
great.
4 touchdowns. You play Lamar, you have to. If he's healthy enough, you got to play him.
Don't they look better without him? I mean, just be honest.
I'm not going to buy into that.
No, I understand. Well, I mean, whether it is or not, the offense has exploded without him.
Yeah, I mean, Derrick Henry exploded. He had 36 carries for 216 yards. By the way, it's not like the Packers offense was doing much with Malik Willis. You got to play Lamar. But we have a Week 18 showdown between the Ravens and the Steelers, which that game, and I'm more excited about that game than Bucks Panthers. Like when I think of historic, I don't think of Bucks Panthers.
Ravens Steelers a bad game.
No, it is, but I'm excited for it.
Packers. I mean, the Panthers and Bucks is a bad game.
Yeah, I'm excited for Ravens Steelers. Number 2 for a non-playoff team. Saints found their guy, man, in Tyler Shuck.
You believe that?
5-3 since he has taken over, and his first game was against the Rams, so he starts 0-1 because his first game was against the Los Angeles Rams. I know they haven't played the best teams, but Kellen Moore has found his quarterback, which there was a lot of questions. All right, what is this guy going to be? He looks pretty good with Kellen Moore, an offensive coordinator that I miss. It'll be interesting to see how that Saints team builds. Remember, they're still in cap hell.
And they're in cap hell for another year after this, but they're going to get a good draft pick, but the draft pick is screwed up.
Well, yeah, because they started winning football games.
Because they're playing well.
They've won 5 out of the last 8 games ever since Tyler Shuck took over.
He's done a great job.
He really has.
Because he was expected to be competing for the number 1 pick in the draft. Right now, New Orleans has the 8th pick.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It fell apart a little bit for him.
That's incredible.
Lastly,
in a good way.
I love that we have football on Christmas Day. I love it. It beats the NBA in a heartbeat. But does the league or the teams love it? So the Broncos are playing their Week 18 matchup against the Chargers. That's a pretty big game. Broncos are going to be on 10 days rest because they played on Christmas.
Okay.
Is that...
They love that this time of year. You love the extra rest.
No, the Broncos do. But, is it unfair to the Chargers that because they want to force a Christmas Day game in there, and I get why the league would want to do it. I get why Roger Goodell would want to do it. Is that almost unfair to the team that they play in Week 18 that's not playing on
Or was it unfair to the Broncos to play in a short week? I mean the payoff is you get the benefit on the back end, but you got the short straw on the front end.
Thursday would still have happened, right?
Right, but they had already played a Thursday game before.
Games.
So remember, that's their second Thursday game.
I just wonder how that works, right? Like, you now have a team that's coming off of 10 days rest.
And it doesn't matter now because the Chargers already lost the division.
Right.
So it doesn't matter. It could have mattered for everything.
That's what I'm saying. It could have mattered. Like, I wonder if the league now next year Christmas will be on a Friday, right?
Right.
So
Christmas is a Friday.
I just wonder how much they took into account. Oh, wow, we're giving a team 10 days rest going into what could have been a major deciding factor Week 18. Week 18.
Right.
Right. It's different if it's Thanksgiving. We're talking the second to last week of the season. That's where my brain goes.
By the way, there's a metrics that is used in the NFL by general managers and otherwise of just looking at the differential of sort of like a baseball differential of points where what does your offense do? What does your defense do?
Yeah.
For the NFC. So I'm just going to look at it from the NFC. So what's your offense do? What's your defense do? There are 2 teams in the NFC right now that could make the playoffs that have negative differential. The Bucks and the Panthers, as you talk about. Yeah. It's terrible. The Bucks are a -2 right now in point differential. Their defense gives up 2 points a game more than their offense scores. The Panthers, it's a -4.2. Okay? Now, if you looked at the other teams, where do you think the Eagles are? Of the other teams that are going to make the playoffs, so I'm telling you, Packers, Rams, Seahawks, Bears, 49ers.
Probably 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Like they're the worst, you mean?
No, second or third best.
Really? Of their differential? Their offense more than their defense? Really?
Wait, what do you mean?
It's a point differential.
Yeah, the Eagles
what your
definitely have
offense
more
scores.
points. The Eagles are definitely in plus territory this year.
No, but so are all the other teams are. But you think the Eagles are like second or third best?
I remember at one point the Bears were in like negative territory for a while.
The Seahawks are number 1. 11.3
They're
positive.
averaging 30 points per game.
They're
this year,
11.3 in the positive.
Okay.
The Rams are number 2. They're 10.6 in the positive. Okay. Then it is a huge drop off. Huge. The 49ers, who could be the 1 seed, are plus 4.7. The Eagles are plus 3.8. The Packers are plus 2.8. The Bears will be the worst at plus 1.8. Bears are incredibly vulnerable.
So
the Bears are an incredibly vulnerable team as far as that's concerned. By that differential. By the way, the big numbers don't tend to necessarily be the Super Bowl teams.
Okay.
So it doesn't tend to be Super Bowl teams. In fact, usually it means not this year, but it usually means teams that play in bad divisions. Like the Patriots used to always romp on this one because of their division.
That didn't make me feel any better.
It should,
I'll be honest with you.
It should, though, because the Bears are
better?
Bears are vulnerable,
Nope.
49ers are vulnerable, and the Bears and the 49ers could be in your path. The 49ers and the Bears could be the first 2 teams in your path.
Sure.
And they are. And by the way, so both of them are they're more faulty than the Eagles that you complain about.
I thought you said the Niners were above them.
No, but they're right there. But it's right there. They're right
So they're
with
not
you.
more faulty.
Well, they're right there with you. So it's right at the same. They're at the same point
How
differential.
many times have their offense has gotten shut out through halves? I'll try to look into that during the break. Coming up next, what? Where am I at? We just told you how the 2 seed is still in play. How about that?
It is in play.
Do you go for it? Nick Sirianni was kind of asked about it yesterday. Did he tip his hand? Hear that next.
Got to tell you.
6:44 here on Kincade Salciunas 97.5 The Fanatic. I have a couple text messages ready there, Connor, but I did do the research during the break. So the Bears have been shut out for an entire half one time this year. The Niners have been shut out for an entire half 0 times this year. The reason why I bring that up is because the things that I worry most about those two teams are the offensive minds that run the show, right? I fear
those are two great offensive minds.
Shanahan, I fear Ben Johnson has gotten a lot more out of Caleb Williams than a lot of people expected in year 2 of him as a starting quarterback in the NFL, and year 1 of those two guys together. And
those are the two dangerous. I mean, Shanahan is the boogeyman potentially.
So do I believe the Eagles will allow 42 points or 38 points to either of those teams? Because last night's score, the Niners won 42-38 over the Bears. I don't believe that.
The Bears had 10 points on you with 10 minutes to go in the game.
Yep. Yeah, you can control it. The Eagles' offense has to score points.
Yes, it does.
And I can't see this offense winning 3 playoff games to get to a Super Bowl. I just don't see it. The Eagles' defense can be spectacular and still lose. Again, 2-2 this year in the games the Eagles have been shut out for an entire half. The fact that they won 2 games is amazing. They are 2-2 in those 4 games. All right. Do the Eagles go for it this weekend, the 2 seed? Nick Sirianni was asked a question by our man Zach Berman whether or not, if it was the last game yesterday, how he would feel about the team. Listen, did he tip his hand a bit?
Yeah, you got to feel pretty good, right? 3-game winning streak. In this league, 3-game winning streaks are hard. Winning 11 games is hard. Winning the division is hard. And so you feel really good about some of the things, but there's also an opportunity to self-scout yourself and do some different things there. We'll see. We'll see what we do this upcoming week. You know, I think there's still an opportunity for us to get the 2 seed. But I thought it was really important that we played in this particular game. Fortunately, we got through this. I think I haven't talked to the doctors yet, but fortunately we got through this with some, I know there'll be some bumps and bruises, but we got through what we needed to get through and you feel really good. Again, you got to, before you guys came in, I was talking, you got to give yourself points for wins. I don't care how ugly it is, how pretty it is. You got to come out of games and say, man, it's hard to win a road football game in the NFL against this caliber of a football team with that type of quarterback. And man, I think about the players that they have. Milano's a really good player. Russo's a great player.
We don't have to go through the Bills depth chart. At one point, you hear him say, "I do believe we still have a chance to get to the 2 seed." Now he's doing that on the fly. Maybe somebody did tip. Maybe.
Well, no, I guarantee
PR told him, right?
I guarantee it. PR talk.
To me, when I hear him say that, I feel like he's leaning toward playing his start. That's what I got out of the clip. I don't know about you guys.
How arrogant to me? It'd be completely arrogant to go, yeah, we don't need to worry about it. We don't need to worry about winning it and getting it home. Getting a home game. I can't believe it. I can't believe they would be that arrogant.
No, I think what Andrew DeCecco said makes sense. You should, not will, should be able to put up points early against the Commanders team that wants to play golf. That's
yes.
Yes. As much as Dan Quinn wants to do, we'll see them in 2 weeks. As much as he wants to try that, they're going to look at the date and say, "Oh man, this is our last game. We get to go home after this one and finish this horrendous season that a lot of people thought was going to be better than what it was."
I mean, you walked off the field yesterday winning over Josh Allen. And you walked off a guy who has won 77% of his home starts, one of the best quarterbacks in the history of the NFL on his home field. And you walked off with a win. Nick's right to say, because there are coaches in the history of the NFL from when you guys were kids that would literally, if a guy at the post-game press conference in the media had been like, yeah, it started out with the negative stuff, they would have gone, and Parcells would have just torn somebody a new one. And been like, dude, do you know how hard it is to win in the NFL? Are you kidding me? Are you going to sit here and tell me it isn't good to something to celebrate that you win a game?
Almost as hard to only have 16 yards in a
my gosh, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind to not celebrate that. This is one of the winningest quarterbacks in the NFL in history on his home field. You went, you beat him. Oh, by the way, you held him to 12 points as a team. That is a great win with a capital G. of what happened.
Great win for the Eagles defense yesterday.
It's unreal. It's just
what?
unreal.
I don't think what I'm saying is unfair.
I do. It's a great win for the Eagles yesterday. That is a great win
Led
for
by
the
their
Eagles.
defense.
Well, that's fair. No, that's fair. That's an absolutely fair thing.
And the offense was dragged to victory.
The offense absolutely was absolutely not at their best in the second half. The offense, I thought, looked brilliant in the first
offense
half.
put their name on the group project.
I thought the offense
Jake Elliott scored 7 points. The Eagles' offense scored 6 points. That's not exactly one to hang your hat on.
The Eagles' offense was me in college. I wrote my name on the group project.
No, they gave Jake Elliott 2 very makeable field goals, and considering they have the worst kicker in the NFL, they gave him 2 very makeable field goals, which means the offense did their job to give the worst kicker in the NFL a good chance.
I'm glad that the Eagles' offense did their job getting yards. They did 16 yards in the second half.
No, wasn't good.
That's why I can't come in here sunshines and rainbows.
It's not sunshines and rainbows.
But for me, it's more doom and gloom.
Winning. Well, that's fine. Winning at Buffalo. If you find that doom and gloom, I just think you're way extreme.
I needed a drive in the second half, and my attitude's totally different. And I couldn't get a drive. All right, coming up next. I gave it to you earlier, but if you missed it, a wild statistic that shows how unlikely the Eagles winning a couple of games this year have been. You'll hear that next. Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Benari Jewelers, absolutely beautiful. I was in the store the other day. It's absolutely great. And, shopping for diamonds, it can be a bit intimidating. That's why men all around the area, including myself, will tell you got to visit my friends at Benari Jewelers. They have transformed an intimidating process into something that's informative, something that takes confusion and turns it into crystal clarity, sort of like their beautiful diamonds. The Benari team puts you at ease. They show you every single thing you need to know about making that important purchase. I took Brendan Gunn over there. We went through the entire process. Then I got out of the way. He chose a beautiful diamond. He created the diamond engagement ring of his lady's dreams. And Benari's diamonds, well, the value shines through. You're going to walk away with a superior diamond that she's going to love for years to come. Benari's got it. When ordinary won't do, everything at Benari is extraordinary. So if you're going to do it, if you're going to get that diamond this year, do yourself a favor. Start the process at Benari Jewelers, Exton and Newtown Square. And you can check them out online at benarijewelers.com.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Eagles moved to 11-5. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Birds survived a fourth quarter surge in Buffalo to take down the Bills 13-12 yesterday for their 11th win of the year. The offense was shut out in the second half, but the defense held up just enough to still find a victory, including stopping Josh Allen and the Bills' last-second two-point conversion attempt with the game on the line. Nick Sirianni, he saw the offensive struggles in the second half, and he took responsibility for it after the game.
I put it on myself. I got to help with some things that I know we want to get called. Kevin did a good job in that first half, but I got to help in that second half a little bit, getting some things that we want to get called there, in execution. It's everything.
It was a good day to have a great defense, and part of that is the reason why the Eagles still are alive for the 2 seed. It's also because the Bears lost to the 49ers late last night, so if Chicago loses to Detroit in Week 18 and Philly's able to knock off Washington, the Birds will be the 2 seed in the NFC. We'll keep an eye on that. Sixers fell to the Thunder 129-104 yesterday in Oklahoma City. They're off until tomorrow night. The Flyers lost to the Kraken 4-1 out in Seattle last night. They're also off until tomorrow as they continue their West Coast swing. This update is brought to you by Super Shore. Do you own a small business? You need to hear this. A seismic shift is coming. It's time to get Super Shore. Not kind of sure, not pretty sure, but Super Shore. Coming soon. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best Birds coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Every game day right before the Birds take the field, check out the Birds Insider pregame show, breaking down every game before it happens. Then, as soon as the clock hits 0, tune into the Birds Insider postgame show as we analyze everything that happened on the field.
57 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic. A couple of things before I give you this crazy stat. Number one, how in the world did the Fox broadcast not show a replay of the Jalen Hurts hit on the sideline?
Especially when Nick Sirianni was losing his mind over it.
Like, I'm sitting there going, all right, they're going to show it, they're going to show it, they're going to show it. And then they show because there was a holding on that play. Dallas Goedert got held downfield. They showed that, and then I'm waiting for now let's show the hit on the sideline. Nothing. I don't know how Fox doesn't show it. I saw Fran Duffy actually posted the end zone view of it.
Okay, what did you think of? I did not see Fran's video of it.
A little acting by Jalen.
Okay.
Clear late hit.
But Jalen did some acting.
So Jalen was giving up on the play. He slowed down. He's running toward the sideline. Now, this is all Patrick Mahomes' fault because if you remember, Patrick Mahomes earlier this year was acting as if he was going to go out of bounds, slowed down, and then popped up and laid his shoulder into a defender and got like 2 or 3 more yards. So defenses are being told, if he's not
finish it off,
he's not out of bounds, hit him.
Right.
He was not out of bounds. Well, could you make a case on necessary roughness? Yeah. Was it a late hit? No. He was still in bounds. Jalen then kind of rolled a little bit.
No, I mean, to me, I thought, Connor, your gut instinct. When I watched it, I thought Jalen was acting.
I thought it was late hit.
Oh, I thought it was late when I first saw it.
Yeah,
no, I thought he definitely got a little bit of a late hit, but I thought Jalen was auditioning for Days of Our Lives.
Here's the thing, though. There are quarterbacks in this league that get that call, 7, 8 times out of 10, and it feels like Jalen gets it half a time out of 10.
Okay.
And that's more the thing.
I'm not even complaining about the call. How does the broadcast not show that replay?
Well, yeah.
To your point, John, they're showing Sirianni's face.
Oh, no,
Sirianni is Rudolph's nose.
He was losing his mind.
And they don't show a replay of it.
I thought Sirianni could have gotten a flag thrown by the way he was in the ref's face, and the language he was using was absolutely out of line. You could just tell. So
yeah, well, yeah. I just can't believe they didn't show the replay.
We work in live media. Sometimes you miss things. It happens.
So you guys did believe it was a penalty worthy?
I thought it was.
I thought so, yeah.
Until
Fran's video?
Until I saw the video, I don't think so.
And then you don't think. I thought Jalen.
Unnecessary roughness is a judgment call.
I thought Jalen looked like he was acting. To me, it looked too dramatic.
Yeah, he was a bit. And then the stat from Benjamin Solak said it back in the 6 o'clock hour, if you weren't listening then. The 2025 Eagles are the first team since 1987 when the New England Patriots won multiple games in a season in which they did not complete a single second-half pass. That's amazing. Not a single second-half completion, and the Eagles are 2-0 in those games.
Might be the new meta.
No, it's wild.
And it's not because they were up 40 and they ran the football. The defense is that good. It's that dominant.
It's crazy.
That's why the Eagles offense gets a participation trophy for yesterday's win. In my opinion. They did participate. They were there. They did put up some points.
They put up the points that won the game. Yeah, they did.
Man, you hold on to that.
Yeah.
I do not have that feeling at all. At all.
I just hold on to math and logic. But you can hold on to whatever feeling you have.
If your point total's not old enough to vote, I'm not really giving the offense a lot of credit for the game.
I go all defense.
If it can't go to an R movie, Connor.
Yeah, if you can't get behind the wheel of a car with the points you score.
Okay, point goes to Connor there. It is a thing. Like Nick, we haven't brought it up at all. Nick mouthing off coming up.
That was the other thing I was going to bring up before the re-rack. What are you doing? Your team barely – look, now better win. It's not the Browns. It's not like last year's fiasco where he's yelling at fans for beating the Browns. This was a good win on paper. But who are you barking at?
Maybe McDermott. No,
I think that's what it is. I think it was Sean McDermott.
Hey, your signature play is a health risk to your players. What, you trying to say I'm trying to get my guys hurt? Screw you.
By the way, weren't both touchdowns?
Yes.
Pushes for the Bills? How about the irony for that one?
See, you want to yell at him too.
No, but you You can't mouth off when you win 13-12
You don't, no.
and you had 16 total yards in the second half.
Screw it. Go off,
You
Nick.
can't mouth off.
We got
No.
Saucy Nick back. I like it.
I don't want Saucy Nick.
I don't want either.
They lose.
Again,
No, they lose during the Saucy Nick periods.
Not always.
I don't like Saucy Nick. All right, you're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia. A. Beasley, Media Group Station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities.
Time now for the Kincade.
Once the offense started getting nothing going in the third quarter, you're saying, well, at least thank God we have the defense that we have, because this Eagles defense has been tremendous pretty much all season long, one of the better defenses in the NFL. But then you see it in the fourth quarter. You see Josh Allen be Josh Allen, MVP caliber quarterback that he is, won the MVP last year. And it comes down to a crazy decision, and in my opinion, crazy decision to go for two, because earlier in the game, if you missed it, if you were not watching yesterday, I don't know what you were doing with your life. The Eagles blocked an extra point attempt, thankfully.
Well, let's make Jalen
Carter blocked the extra point attempt.
Blocked it, which is awesome.
And then the Bills score a touchdown and decide to go for two instead of kicking the extra point and forcing overtime. The reason why I say it's a crazy decision is because I just told you the Eagles offense did nothing in the entire second half. What makes you think all of a sudden in overtime that they would click on offense? But hey, it worked out for the Eagles. The Eagles won.
What in the world, honestly, did you see, and I know you usually turn it right off, did you watch the postgame at all? Like right when the game ended, you did not watch when they went to the studio. Whether it was Terry and Howie and I can't remember who's in that last seat.
Rob Gronkowski.
And they're all like, what the hell is he doing? He's got the Eagles defense on the ropes.
Yeah.
He's got the Eagles absolutely exhausted. Yeah. That defense is exhausted and burned.
Because the offense can't keep a drive going for more than 3 seconds.
An Eagles offense that has done nothing for 2 quarters. And he literally lets them off the hook by going for two and says, okay, here's a coin flip chance to win this game.
Play was there. Khalil Shakir wide open in the back of the end zone, but Josh Allen back foot throws it. And
Josh Allen didn't make a big play in a big time?
Right, exactly.
Wait a minute. Josh Allen didn't come through at a big time with a wide open receiver.
You're basically talking like you're Connor Thomas.
Wait.
Now.
Wide open receiver.
Yeah, he was open.
He was wide. He was wide open.
So the Eagles get the win going to Buffalo. And again, first and foremost, going into Buffalo, 11-4 team versus or a 10-5 team versus an 11-4 team. The Bills are 11-4. And you get the win. That's great. It's very much like the Packers-Lions all over again, right? Where we say, hey, if I told you that the Eagles would go to Lambeau and get a win and then follow that up with a win over the Lions, everybody would say, damn,
right,
that was really good. And then you add the context of the offense. It's kind of the exact same thing. If I told you, hey, the Eagles are going to go to Buffalo in a monsoon for at least 3 quarters and come out with a win, we're going to say that's great.
Well, that is exactly where I'm going to stop you and say that is what I will say this morning.
That's it?
That's great.
Show's
No. I absolutely will have a lot to say about the offense.
Because the offense was horrible.
But it's great. You went to Buffalo and you won a game. It's great. Period. It is great. You won a game at Buffalo. You beat the Buffalo Bills. You held them to 12 points, something that has happened one time in 3 seasons. One time in 3 seasons. They've been held to 12 points or less. That is great with a capital G. All the other sub-stories to the win are absolutely valid. But it's great. It's absolutely great. Going to Lambeau and winning is great.
Right.
Beating Detroit is great. Going to Buffalo and winning is great. Beating the Rams is great. Beating Kansas City is great. I mean, these are great things that this team has done this year. And there's a lot of great, but there are also a lot of things that make you go, And most of the NFC teams all have that same issue.
So after the game, Nick Sirianni was speaking to the media, and you're going to hear a lot of Nick Sirianni's post-game press conference because it was kind of all over the place. Here he was talking about just getting the win and giving yourself credit for it.
You got to give yourself points when you win football games. There's always things to clean up when you come out of a football game. If you come out of a football game where you win on the road, again, in a hostile environment, against a really good football team that's had the sustained success that we have, like if you come out of this and you're just thinking about all the negative things that happen, that makes for a miserable existence. We'll get there. We'll get to what we need to clean up, and really good first half by the offense, not a great second half, and a lot of different reasons why. Winning's hard in this league, and I'm always going to enjoy a win. And then I'm going to be really hypercritical on myself first and foremost, and then the rest of the guys after that, and the coaches. Yeah, you feel great.
That's the right attitude to take. That's 100% the right attitude to take in the NFL. And Hall of Fame coaches will tell you that that's Tony Dungy would tell you that. Bill Parcells would tell you that that's the right attitude to take. It is to go to Buffalo and win. When you see Buffalo road game on the schedule, you say, in your head, you go, that's a brutal game. And those who play the win-loss game, the stupid win-loss game, pencil them in as losses. Pencil road games in at Lambeau as losses. They go, but in individual context, those are great. But there are things when you look back at it, I want to see what he fixes, though, because it's week 17, Nick. I've heard this song and dance.
Okay, so that's where I'm at.
No, I've heard the song. Yeah, but the thing
offense
is,
isn't getting
the thing
fixed.
is, though, but don't bury the lead. It's a great win. It is a great win,
and that's why I started the show.
And that's the key. It's a great win.
It is week 17. The offense will not all of a sudden get better. All right, it's not going to, and the Eagles will need the defense to be the 85 Bears, the 0-1 Ravens, or hell, we'll just call them the 25 Eagles. Right? They're going to have to be this dominant, it seems like, any single playoff game. Sure, there might be a game where the Eagles offense puts together a couple of good drives. We've seen it, right? Limited times and against lesser opponents like the Raiders and the Commanders. But we've seen the Eagles offense show life at times this year. But if we're talking about a 4-quarter effort for an Eagles win, it's going to be on the backs of the defense every single week. They're not going to get the 1 seed, right? We all.
No, they're out of the 1 seed.
That's done. So they're going to have to win 3 playoff games in order to get back to the Super Bowl, and it's going to have
Just
to
like
be
last
because
year.
of the defense.
They're going to have to win 3 playoff games. This year they may have to win 2 on the road, and that's going to be a much different task. There's a good chance they're going to have to win 2.
Now, my thing is, like, when I hear Sirianni say we got to give ourselves, props for winning, yeah, you do. It contradicts what the message was earlier this year, the whole no more Victory Monday thing and all that kind of stuff. Like,
well, Victory Monday's today. This is after a game. He's talking after a game. Right after a game in that locker room is what he's talking about. He's talking about being at a podium 20 minutes after a win. He's not talking about Victory Monday. Victory Monday's today. If he comes out with the same sunshine and lollipops BS today, then I absolutely would understand where you'd go, yeah, Nick, come on now. Because I even question it, too. I'm like, come on, Nick. Like, there's a lot I questioned about Nick's reaction yesterday, but it's more of what he did when he wasn't on a microphone.
Right, and there's a lot to react, so we will do that. Are you happy with the win? Yes, we're all happy with the win, but do you?
Hope so.
Is your number one takeaway they went to Buffalo and got the win? Or is your number one takeaway this offense is troublesome and it's not good enough to win the big picture thing, which is not necessarily a win in Buffalo? If we're talking big picture, we're talking 3 playoff games and hopefully a Super Bowl. You can chime in on that at 610-632-0975. The Eagles have won 2 games this season in ways nobody could have predicted with the W's and L's from before the season started, Johnny. You'll hear the highlight of another block kick next. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic. It is 9:14 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. It's a Football Monday presented to us by our friends at the local Bryant Home Comfort Team. Visit nopaybryant.com to keep your HVAC in the starting lineup. I don't know how Nick Sirianni did not mention this when addressing the team after the game. He said it during his press conference. Oh, I forgot to mention this. It was the reason why you won the game.
I forgot to mention this.
Here was Jalen Carter once again saving a game for the Eagles with his fingertips.
13th rushing touchdown of the year for Josh Allen, most of any quarterback. Now, extra point is blocked. It is blocked. Badgley, who had a rough debut last week for the injured Matt Prater, and that one doesn't get home, so it stays a full 7 points. Was it Jalen Carter who got it? It's tough to see. Let's find out. Oh, my, look how high he is.
Oh, my God, look at that. And a little low coming off the foot, and that's all it takes, 2 inches.
Thank you, Jalen Carter.
Badgley, again, signed off the street a couple weeks ago. I think that was more Carter's greatness.
Yeah, he was
like, he was
sky high off of that. Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
He was tremendous on that play. He was tremendous all day yesterday.
And did you see the Buffalo I'm drawing a blank on his name, and Carter went right for my eye.
Yeah.
He went right for my eye.
I saw it was the offensive lineman on the same play.
Did you see the
got
play,
his
though?
throat and his eye.
I do not believe there's anyone who would look at that video and say he intentionally went for his eye.
You know how hard that's got to be.
I mean, seriously.
On the snap, that quick.
And then he went
to purposely get your fingertips through the mask
for his eye. No,
yeah,
I do not. Like if you just watch the play, it did not happen that way.
Yeah. Little Three Stooges defense. I love that.
I did not see that as intent.
No,
at all.
I do not either.
All right, let's go to our man Stan in Drexel Hill. What's up, Stan?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up, Stan?
Yeah. Listen, I'd be boo-hooing, too, if I got bull rushed by Jalen Carter, earlier in the game for us and let my quarterback got sacked. You know what I'm saying? You got to try anything, right?
Man, that was bad.
No, seriously, I was so frustrated with that second half to not be able to pick up a first down. A.J. Brown, who we obviously have been covering about his complaints throughout the year, but to have, 68 yards in the first half or something like that, he should have been in more than that because it should have been a PI called when the guy was holding his arm.
Yeah.
But, okay, whatever. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, why go into this conservative nonsense where you're not even trying to – it didn't even look like they were trying to pick up first downs. It was just, all right, let's just get into this vanilla type of offense and just kind of, if we get it, we get – I'm like, I'm not understanding it because you're not playing against a trash team. You're not playing against a trash quarterback. We know who you're playing against. You know where you are. Honestly, the Bills just lost themselves the game by going for it for 2 when they had all the momentum. So, they just gift wrapped you, and the guy, and then Josh Allen, just for some reason misses a wide open guy. And it's like all these things had to break. And I guess, they'll tell you it's better to be lucky than good. But to put yourself in that position, to me, is just so just irresponsible because you had a chance to go up more and maybe you don't get touchdowns out of it, but you can at least put yourself in a position to get some field goals, get some points, do something to at least give your defense a chance to rest. Because otherwise, I'm like, you guys keep playing with fire here, and you're not going to be able to win a game. You might be able to win 1 playoff game, but you're not going to be able to win 3, let alone 2 on the road playing like that to get to a Super Bowl. And Chunas is right. I don't think the offense is going to get any better, so we have to pray that the defense is able to hold up and do what they do, where we can at least do something.
And look, Stan, I expect the Eagles' defense, and thanks for the call, brother. I always appreciate it. I expect the Eagles' defense to still be great in the playoffs. Like I do. I don't think a team's coming in here and scoring 40. I don't think a team's coming in here and scoring 30. But if they give up 24 points, will the Eagles' offense score 25?
Well, like I saw them play the Rams. Yeah, they could score 30 on the Rams. I've seen it happen.
And I was wearing shorts at the time.
The thing is that, then the Rams would score less. Because you're wearing shorts. So the Rams would score less. Then the Eagles would need to score less. I can do the same thing with that.
The Rams' offense has been consistently good all season long.
I've seen the Eagles do ever is beat the Rams. So I'm not going to go, all right, well, this is the time that the Rams are going to, this is the one where I'm going to assume that the Rams beat the Eagles. All the Eagles do is beat the Rams. And they usually beat them like a drum.
All right. Well, the Eagles are going to have to win 3 games to get back to a Super Bowl.
And that is not, and I've told you the one scenario I don't like. The one I don't like is if they had the trifecta of the NFC West, I don't think they go to the Super Bowl. That's one where I say, I would have I think this offense would end up costing them. But there's other paths that I don't. There's other paths that I don't have a problem. The first game, I'm going to pick them to win. The first game, I'm going to pick them to win at home against, I don't care who's coming in here, I'm going to pick them to win that game. And then the second game is going to matter. The second game, could it end up being another home game? Could very well be, depending on what happens with the Bears.
We'll see.
The way it goes. And am I going to pick against them in a home game? I'm not sure. Not in January. I don't think I will. Don't think I'll do that.
All right, coming up next. Has Jordan Mailata completely contradicted himself? I just saw something on social media from Zach Berman and Kevin Kincade. Not John Kincade.
The other Kincade. Spells it wrong.
I'll tell you how next. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
The Eagles survived in Buffalo. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Birds survived a fourth-quarter surge by the Buffalo Bills to take them down 13-12 yesterday. Yeah, real barn burner. The offense was shut out in the second half, but the defense, they shut the Bills out for the first 3 quarters of the game, and when the chips were down, they stopped Josh Allen in the Bills' last-second 2-point conversion attempt. Jalen Hurts talked after the game about the defensive effort on that side of the ball.
It's a big-time win. A competitive game, hell of a performance by the defense and how they played and how they were able to find a way to gut that out and make plays when we needed it the most. So glad to find a win.
Now, the offense could use some work, but we'll keep an eye on that in the next week. And with the Bears losing to the 49ers late last night, the Eagles are still technically alive for the 2 seed. If the Birds win Sunday, the Bears lose to Detroit, Philly would be the 2 seed in the NFC playoff picture. Sixers fell to the Thunder 129-104 yesterday in OKC. They're off until tomorrow night. Flyers lost to the Kraken 4-1 in Seattle last night. They're also off until tomorrow as they continue their West Coast road trip. This update is brought to you by our friends over at Michelob Ultra. Don't miss Bill Colarulo at the GOAT on Sansom Street this Saturday, January 3rd, from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. for an Ultra Access event with Michelob Ultra featuring $5 Michelob Ultra drafts and a chance to win Sixers suite tickets in the Fanatics private suite. Please enjoy responsibly. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
once the offense started getting nothing going in the third quarter, you're saying, well, at least thank God we have the defense that we have, because this Eagles defense has been tremendous pretty much all season long, one of the better defenses in the NFL. But then you see it in the fourth quarter. You see Josh Allen be Josh Allen, MVP caliber quarterback that he is, won the MVP last year. And it comes down to a crazy decision, and in my opinion, crazy decision to go for two, because earlier in the game, if you missed it, if you were not watching yesterday, I don't know what you were doing with your life. The Eagles blocked an extra point attempt, thankfully.
Well, let's make Jalen
Carter blocked the extra point attempt.
Blocked it, which is awesome.
And then the Bills score a touchdown and decide to go for two instead of kicking the extra point and forcing overtime. The reason why I say it's a crazy decision is because I just told you. The Eagles 25 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic. Connor Thomas's 3 observations from the rest of the NFL comes your way in a few minutes. But did Jordan Mailata contradict himself yesterday? I always hate when narratives change. I say it all the time.
You mean like in 2023 with
Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts.
The moment I heard him say, since when did winning not become the main thing? When through 11 weeks, when they were 10-1, it was the standard.
Right.
We're not playing to the standard. And then all of a sudden, when he flipped the narrative,
the Christmas night game,
I was like, uh-oh. That's not good. And then in 2024, Schwarber did it.
Yes.
They lost the series to like the Mets or something. He's like, every one of us in there is pissed off. We don't care how great of a start we had, blah, blah. Then, remember, JT Realmuto got that surgery. And all of a sudden,
because they had they decided we're so far up.
And then Kyle Schwarber said, well, look, we have a nice lead. And it's like, whoa, hold on a second.
Which is it?
How come, like a month ago, you were saying that you're pissed off that you lost the series? Now you're like, it's okay.
It's all right.
I don't like when narratives change, especially in football, because it's a short season. Long season in terms of physical brutality, but short season in terms of the amount of games you play. This was Jordan Mailata after the game yesterday when the Eagles went to Buffalo and beat the Bills.
For me, perspective-wise, I just don't like when we're not considered a heavyweight and when we're like, oh, you guys have to match down. That no, I think we've deserved a little respect, just a little bit, a little consideration. But here's what it is.
So I don't understand what he's even trying to get at. Like,
neither do I, unless he thinks people are picking against them, and maybe people did pick against the Eagles in the Buffalo game.
All right. One team needed the game to stay alive to win their division. One team was at home. The quarterback of that team has won 77% of his home starts, 78.5 going into yesterday. I mean, it's not disrespect to not be picked to win that game.
No.
It's not disrespectful at all. That anybody who picked Buffalo to win the game yesterday is not disrespectful.
This is also the same guy that was basically saying that this would be somewhat of a gut check game.
Right.
And it was also the same guy that said
he wanted it to be a measuring stick game, right.
This is also the same guy that wanted to ignore that they won the Super Bowl last year.
He said, we've got to win this game. I want to set a standard. This is a standard game. We're a high standard team. I know they're watching the film too. They have to stop something. So people should watch the film and know that we are setting a standard. So, Jordan, I would ask you, if your opponents are watching yesterday's film, that's what Jordan said last week about yesterday's game. So I would ask him, Jordan, when they're watching the tape of the Eagles offense, when they're watching the tape of the Eagles offensive line, if that was a standard setting game, as you said it was, what are they saying?
Pretty bad standard.
Are they intimidated? Are they nervous? Are they worried? I'm just being honest. I think that that's something that he should address with the same throatiness.
I think that was a narrative shift.
I think he should address it with the same throatiness.
What do we got on the text line, Connor, before we get your 3 observations? Also an observation from Jeff McClain that I'll read to you in a minute.
Ooh, okay. So Chris from the Northeast checked in previously saying the Eagles have a 5% chance in the NFC playoff picture. He responded with
I want to
his
hear
other
this.
percentages.
Let me hear these percentages.
So he gives 40% to the Rams,
Okay.
23% to the Seahawks,
40% Rams. Okay.
15% to the Bears,
How much to Seahawks?
23.
23% to the Seahawks,
23 Seahawks.
15% to the Bears, 10% to the Niners, 5% to the Eagles, 5% to the Buccaneers, and 2% to the Packers.
Okay, so he's giving.
I'm not giving the Bucks equal percentage.
Nah,
chance. They might not.
that's-
They might not even make the playoffs.
That's absurd.
I agree
the
with
Bucs
you.
thing throws it out. His highest percentage being the Rams, who will not have a home game,
I think it's still
is
fair.
also absurd.
I don't think it's absurd.
It's absolutely absurd to give the highest percentage to a team that will not play a home game. Is absolutely.
So you think the Seahawks deserve the highest percentage?
To say that the team that you're going to give the highest percentage to go to the Super Bowl out of a playoff field, 1-7, is a team that doesn't have a home game is absurd.
So who are you
because-
giving a higher percentage to?
Well, it depends. I have to see how the whole field breaks out. When I see Seattle, well, whoever's going to win the number 1 seed is going to have a higher percentage chance than the Rams do. The Rams have to win 3 road games. They're going to be the 5 seed. I think the first one, they should be able to take care of business. Should be easy. The second one, not so easy. The third one, third week in a row on the road, not so easy. That's why it doesn't happen. That's why it's happened twice. It doesn't happen. So there's no way you'd say 40% Rams as a team that's not even going to have a home game.
Well, if the Eagles are the 3
absurd.
seed, they could only have 1 home game.
What do you mean?
Well, if they're the 3 seed and no one gets upset.
Well, the Eagles could have. The
If
Eagles
no
could
one
have.
gets upset, that means the Rams are out.
No, I know. But I'm just saying, like, the Eagles only have 1 guaranteed home game right now.
No, the Eagles 5% is ridiculous as a 3 seed. 5%
You're right,
is
0.
ridiculous. The Eagles winning a 5. If you said 20% for the Eagles, move on. I'm not gonna argue with you.
What about 0?
I'm not gonna think 0 is absurd. It's absolutely absurd.
Jeff McClain, his post-game write-up. Eagles' inexplicable second-half offense nearly soils defensive gem versus Bills. Sirianni Patullo brain trust took foot off the pedal again, and recent gains seem reversed as questions abound about state of the offense again. He then put a quote tweet saying, "Just watch the film of the Eagles' second-half offense. Inexplicable may be generous. Just some mind-boggling calls and runs into stacked boxes without an advantage in blocking numbers." He says there has to be a better system for Jalen Hurts to check out of these dead runs.
There you go.
We're in week 17. This is why I am the way that I am right now. We're talking about how they need to change things with 1 week left in the regular season. And I don't see things just changing.
No, and I absolutely can understand that. Can understand the frustration and everything. It's just to the extreme that you're taking it. That I absolutely, your frustration, you make very good points that I consider very salient and very, very much respect. The idea that they have 0 chance to go to the Super Bowl is patently absurd.
Do you think it should be less?
0. Absolutely absurd.
They've played 16 games this year. We have felt good about the offense. In what, 5 of them?
I'd say 5. Absolutely.
2 are Commanders Raiders.
One's Giants.
One's Vikings. And then Rams and Bucks were both point-wise high, but they had the drastic halves again.
Sure.
Second half against the Bucks was only a touchdown.
The weird Rams.
And the Rams.
Right. You played like crap in the first half. You played great in the second half.
That just doesn't make me feel great.
No, it shouldn't make you. No, I'm not saying you should feel great by any stretch of the imagination. If that's what I'm saying, if anybody tells me also that they're confident that they're going to the Super Bowl, I would look at them as strangely as I look at you. But if anyone tells me they have no chance, it's ridiculous.
I'm just not on the fence, John.
Look, I admire your commitment to the bit. I admire your commitment to the bit.
It's how I feel.
I admire.
John. This is not
No, your
a bit.
feelings are good. It's good.
I want it to be clear. This is not a radio thing. I don't feel
No.
good about the Eagles' chances of
No,
getting
your feelings. I admire your feelings.
Thank you. It's not a bit.
Get in touch with the feelings.
All right, Connor, go ahead. Hit your football music. What are your 3 observations from the NFL?
All right, let's start off with this because the Premier League has it right, and they always have. We need relegation in the NFL. New York Jets, Oakland Raiders. Yeah, I'm not even giving them the right city. Come on down. You guys need to be out of the National Football League tomorrow. The Jets got their teeth kicked in. The Raiders did as well. What are you doing if you're those they have no way out. They have nothing.
Well,
the
Raiders drafted a running back in the top 10 last year because that's
Now,
good. That'll do something.
You know they lost on purpose yesterday, right?
Sure, but do you need to lose on purpose by 70? It wasn't 70, but I mean.
No, but they lost on purpose. I mean, they literally.
At least, but they've been.
I got you.
They've been terrible.
By the way, their fan base was thrilled that they were losing that game.
I just get so tired of every year. It's always those
I
two.
get you. No, I get you.
And throw the Giants in there too if you want to. But the NFL has some teams that are just perpetual basement dwellers, and it never changes. And there needs to be something that changes it.
How many times?
Well, the thing is, when you guys were kids, Buffalo was.
Right.
And then they changed it. The Bears. And then it changes. It changes for teams. The Green Bay Packers were horrible for 25, 30 years of my youth. And then it changes. So things change.
When was the last time the Raiders went to back-to-back, the playoffs, back-to-back years?
I bet it was when their coach, gosh, I'm drawing a blank in his name. He was the first African-American coach in the NFL, would be my guess. And why am I drawing a blank? A Hall of Famer, and I feel embarrassed.
I don't know.
But that was what my guess is when he was their coach, and I'm drawing a blank. I can see his face, and I just can't think of his name.
When was it?
80s? The early 90s.
It was 2000.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's better than I thought.
Still been a minute.
No, that was 2000.
01, 02.
Oh, okay. So that was
when they lost the Super Bowl to the Buccaneers.
Okay. So it's more than a generation
Since
ago.
then,
it's more than Art Shell, by the way. It's more than a generation ago.
Since then, they've made the playoffs twice.
Yeah, that's a good run by them.
2016 and 2021.
That's incredible.
What else you got, Connor?
All right, speaking of bad franchises, Myles Garrett had some interesting comments after their most recent matchup with the Steelers. He's a half sack away from tying the NFL all-time single-season sack record, one full sack away from breaking it. And he said the reason the Steelers lost was because they just focused on making sure he couldn't get the record. So, with the matchup with the Bengals in Week 18, neither of those teams playing for anything, do you think Myles Garrett actually gets there?
Yeah. He will, but it won't count because it's been 18 games or 17 games.
Nah, count it. Screw
Doesn't
it.
count.
Nah, it doesn't count.
I said the same thing about Saquon last year.
Same thing.
I wanted in the Week
Doesn't
18,
count.
A, for the sake of the team, B, extra game doesn't mean anything to me.
Doesn't count.
So what?
When you're
Nothing
doing
just
it-
counts forever now?
When you're doing it in more.
He had his chance
He had his
last
chance.
week against the Bills, and he got half a sack. Then he did not get a sack yesterday.
Right. He had his chance.
No.
And by the way, he had every chance in the world, and they contained him.
He also had every chance in the world to not play for the Cleveland Browns. What else we got?
And he wanted the money.
Last one here. We've got 3 coaches that their Week 18 game could determine if they're a division winner or potentially fired.
Who's that?
It's wild. Look at the AFC North and take both of those guys. There's a world where I can make an argument that if John Harbaugh loses next week with the Ravens, he could be on the way out. Mike Tomlin, they've already talked about his job in Pittsburgh. Now, I know those might not be the most likely, but it's possible. And they could also both win the division with a win. And just look at Todd Bowles down in Tampa. If they lose to the Panthers after the way that team collapsed,
Todd would be done.
With this collapse, yeah.
I think Todd would be done, yeah.
How often do you see teams where it's just like, hey, your Week 18 is either you're out on the street or you're winning the division heading to the postseason?
That is rare. I do think Todd would be done because I think his team has potentially quit on him.
Yeah, after when he had his press conference and they did not come back with a win, that's why I took the Dolphins. Yes.
Wait, no, but the coaching doesn't matter at this point. The players got to do it.
And
Yeah,
he
that's
threw
right.
them under
Yeah,
the
he
bus.
sure did.
The way he threw them under the bus.
All right, Connor, good job. All right,
I'm very disappointed that he did that because
he was heated.
That's not his character.
He was heated.
That's not his character, and he let it just get under. Man, that was bad.
What are they teaching you guys at Temple?
I'm telling you,
Survive.
Hey,
Fair.
Todd can thank me for passing macroeconomics. I can tell you that much. Just saying.
All right, coming up next, we'll check your text messages, your calls. Also, one NFL reporter thinks the Eagles are lacking something on offense, and it has nothing to do with the talent. I'll tell you what next. I wonder how you guys feel on it. 97.5 The Fanatic. Here on Kincade Salciunas 97.5, The Fanatic. Get back to some texts and some calls here momentarily. But I read an article this morning from Ralph Vacchiano.
Good reporter.
We reference him every once in a while here on the show.
Yeah.
He does a great job for Fox. He's their NFL reporter on Fox Sports. And he did 4 takeaways from the Eagles' win over the Bills. I'm going to skip the one that I want to get to, but he wrote, if the Eagles get to the Super Bowl, it's the defense that will carry them there. All right. So we all see that. Josh Allen needs to rediscover his MVP form if the Bills want to make a Super Bowl run. Okay. And the Bills need a more aggressive approach, especially early in games. But the one that I skipped, number 2.
Okay.
The Eagles have absolutely no killer instinct on offense.
Fair.
Here's what he wrote. Maybe it's the play calling, maybe it's the execution, maybe it's a mindset, but one thing has been clear all season long. When the Eagles get a chance to put a game away, they're not going to do it, at least not with their offense. The Eagles had a 13-0 halftime lead, and their defense was doing a number on the Bills. At any point in the second half, all they needed was one semi-lengthy touchdown drive, and their lead would have felt insurmountable, which is kind of what I've been saying all day. Like, if I saw one drive
of,
in the second half,
even 5 minutes off the clock would have changed everything.
All right, tone's a little bit different, but I didn't see it.
Right.
So what did they do in their 5 second-half possessions? 4 times they went 3 and out. 1 time, their first drive of the second half, they managed to get a first down and picked up a total of 13 yards. That feels impossible with a team loaded with this many weapons. So of it is that they're not running the ball like they used to. Some of it is because the offensive line has quarterback Jalen Hurts on the run a lot. But really, offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo has to find a way for his offense to do something when the team has a chance to put away a game. And again, when I hear has to find a way to do this, we got to try to do this. We got to try to find a way to get this better. When is it going to get better?
Well, I mean, at that point, you have every right to doubt that.
That's my number one thing.
You have every right to doubt that.
I want to make it clear because some people now think that I'm doing this on purpose for radio circus.
No, this is how you feel.
This is not a bit. This is not you take one side, I take the other.
You are in, but you are definitely in your feelings about this. You are in your feelings about this team.
At halftime yesterday, I was sitting there going, man, this is awesome. They are shutting out the Bills. That number one, that's the number one takeaway. And the offense is doing some things in the rain. And then the second half is the same. It's the 4th time this year I've watched them get shut out.
I think, like to me, Jalen's numbers yesterday, incompletions. I think Jalen, running for his life because his offensive line sucked yesterday, did a great job of scrambling and getting rid of the ball and living to fight another day. I had no problem. Like, people are like, look at those incompletion numbers. I said, I don't give a damn at all.
No, I thought the play calling was wretched, and the offensive line was
horrible. I mean, it was the offensive line was, I think, was the worst part of the offense yesterday.
Yeah.
Even worse than the play calling.
One credit I'll give just on the offensive side of the ball, because we've been largely negative. I think that was Jalen's best sack avoidance game of the year.
Okay.
Considering how much pressure he faced versus the windows he got out of. Now, not all of them resulted in great plays, but that slippery of a field surface and everything, he's still got it back there.
And he did some nice stepping up, Connor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like he stepped up.
It wasn't just
times.
bailing out on plays.
No, I thought he was spectacular in the first half of that game yesterday.
I did too.
Numbers won't show it, right? And that's all we care about is fantasy and over-unders, right? He was spectacular in the first half yesterday. And then for whatever reason, everything went to the bleeper, and it's happened 4 times this year. 4 times I've watched this team get shut out an entire half.
Yeah, what are the chances they do it a 5th time? Come on.
Strong.
Getting them all out now.
Hopefully not in the playoffs. We got on the text line.
All right, we got a bunch of people checking in on this balance between, okay, the defense was great, the offense was not great, but they won the game. So this texter checks in on Nick Sirianni and what he was saying about Kevin Patullo and how he needs to step in to help him. And this texter says, Nick's saying he needs to do a better job of stepping in and correcting Patullo in the moment of the second half, because he was doing fine in the first half and he didn't jump in quick enough once he saw things going off the rails.
I just love that Sirianni does the whole, Kevin was great in the first half. I was bad in the second half. What does that mean, dude? It's just you defending your guy.
Yeah, it means when it's good, it's his credit. When it's bad, it's my fault.
It's admirable, but it's annoying.
Why? See, I don't get why that annoys you so much.
I don't consider it admirable because I consider it BS. So it's just, he's just saying. He's just speaking.
Yeah,
he doesn't mean blame me, because we know he's not to blame. Someone that he gave the job to is incompetent to do the job. So he is to blame for that. But during the game, somebody else has that job. He can't be expected to. He's not the guy who calls the plays during the game.
And he himself even said during the press conference, I can't say, oh, wait, no, I don't like that call because now we're running out of time, which, by the way, that's been an issue with the Eagles a lot this year. John Wick chimes in on Twitter.
Wow. John Wick's, he's usually
big fan of the show.
Usually
I'd
busy.
hope so. I don't want to be on his bad side.
No, don't want that. And don't want to, don't hide your dog.
Well, we might be on his bad side because I'm going to completely disagree with John Wick here. At this point, I'm really starting to believe the Eagles are playing rope-a-dope. It seems like they don't want to show everything and know they can win on talent alone in these close games.
No.
We said the exact same BS in 2023.
No.
Hell, Dallas Goedert said it.
No.
Dallas Goedert said publicly, he said behind a camera, behind a microphone, yeah, we're hiding some things for the playoffs.
They would not have.
And it's the same offense.
They would not have allowed themselves to fall to the 3 seed.
No.
Rope-a-doping. They won home games. They value home games. So no, that is not the case. And you know what? Hey guys, we're not going to play our best. We're not going to play with our full arsenal because we're just going to wait till the play. No,
that's not happening.
And by the way, that doesn't happen in pro sports. That's not happening.
What else we got on the text line?
All right. Speaking of percentages, Pete from Allentown gives his for the Eagles, and he says the Eagles' defense is legit great. So for this reason only, I give the Eagles a 30% chance to win the Super Bowl, 50-50 chance to go to the Super Bowl. Rams are the team to beat, and if you force me to pick a winner, I would say Rams right now, only because our offense is pathetically inconsistent.
I'm going to tell you right now, if you're picking you're picking a team that has no home games to go to the Super Bowl as the team to beat, I think you're crazy.
I think saying you have a 50% coin flip
No, I
chance
think
to go to the
50%
Super
is
Bowl
crazy.
insane.
No, I think that's crazy too. I don't. If you told me 20%, I'm okay with it. If you say the Eagles right now, I would put it at more like 25% out of the NFC, 25%. But I have to see the path too, because the path is going to matter a lot to me.
Well, we find that out by the end of this week.
Well, tonight's going to help a lot too. Even the Rams winning tonight would help a lot. You know, it even just eliminates some things along the way. So we'll see.
All right, what else we got?
All right, I think this is a good place to kind of wrap up the text messages for today because this is where some fans are going to be. Reese from Nebraska says, I'm just happy that we won and we avenged another one of our enemies of the tush push. Fly Eagles, fly on the road to victory.
Have they beat every tush push enemy, right?
I believe so,
And
yeah.
we can't, but the thing is we can't tush push anymore.
Yeah.
Know what I did notice, though?
The Bills out tush pushed the Eagles yesterday.
Yesterday, there were 4 teams doing the tush push around the NFL. Scott Hansen doing the Red Zone channel. And not once on any of the broadcasts was player safety brought up.
Oh, no, they don't complain
or anything.
about it,
Or anything of like, wow, like that's dangerous. Hope nobody gets hurt. Like, it's routine.
By the way, we ended up getting an email by the tush push tracker guy.
Oh, good.
Remember?
Yes, with Adam Schefter.
We mentioned a tush push website, and there is a local person that was listening to the show
Right.
and heard us give a shout out to his website, tushpush.fyi.
Excellent.
It is updated. The Eagles still lead the league in tush pushes with 31 tush pushes. The Bills are second with 17. The Seahawks have run it 13 times, the Steelers 11 times, Chargers 10 times, and then everybody else is less than 10. But the success rate is it's down.
Hey, they ran it out of their own end zone yesterday. So
Yes, they did.
That's helpful,
They
at least.
did need to do that.
And they needed to do that.
By the way, I forgot to bring it up with our man, Angie DeCecco. What the hell is Cam Latu doing? That ball's coming back the other way, and he touches it running into the end zone.
So dumb.
What are you doing, dude? And
I don't think special teams. I don't think special teams have been that special.
Oh, then Brady Man. He is special.
And blocking field goals.
And blocking field
Well,
goals.
no, I
yeah.
just
They're
consider
really
that.
good at those.
I
two
just consider
things.
that's Jalen Carter as being a beast.
All right, tell us
Jordan
about
Davis,
life-saving cancer research, please.
Hey, H&H Heating and Air Conditioning made a donation to the AACR, and you can too. Go to 975thefanatic.com/AACR, the American Association for Cancer Research, because I'm living proof. Cancer research saves lives.
Damn, Ryan. Somebody was wondering, Trevor Rice, wondering how your birthday was.
Oh, it was wonderful. Well, fantastic time, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys in the new year on Friday.
You're not going to see me because I'm off.
Oh, you're off Friday, so I'll see you in the new year on
I'm working
Monday.
every day this week except for Friday. You're
I'm
off
just
until
working Friday. And Connor?
They've got me chained up. I'm here forever.
Damn right, man, as you're supposed to be.
Happy
Johnny,
New Year
enjoy
to
your time
everybody.
off.
You too, buddy.
We'll be back at it tomorrow morning. Another day talking about this Eagles offense. Maybe they'll get a first down by the time the show starts. It's Kincade and Salciunas. Middays with Marks comes your way next. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now,